and it's
Don't
like
don't don't
non.
spoil it for him. Don't
All
spoil it
right,
for him.
fine.
He
All
hasn't
right,
played
fine.
yet. But you'll understand why when you reach there.
I
Oh
mean,
wow.
technically, if you watched my little tip video, I did put like a little scene of him in there. That's because I was dying, and it just seemed like just the perfect little mini clip of that moment.
Well, actually, I'm spoiled mainly on story events, since the gameplay is bread and butter for me, so I didn't care about the story implications. So for lore-wise, I know a lot about
Oh
what's going on.
no.
Let's see.
It's actually a pretty good DLC. I didn't expect it to be that massive.
Uh-huh.
You know, Bloodborne, the DLC for that, it was a pretty decent size, but it wasn't as massive as
Yeah.
something like this.
Uh.
I would arguably say that from what I looked at the DLC, the size of the
It's
map looked
huge.
to, yeah, it looks to be about 1/4 to 3/4 of the
Hmm.
original map from the base game.
It is. It's just a lot less dungeons and catacombs and stuff and caves.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but I'm gonna be honest with you, the only good thing that they plugged in there was just grabbing more unique weapons and Ashes of War to play with and spells.
Hmm.
Anything
I saw the
anything else
weapons.
significant, like, if you're expecting something like profound in terms of well, there are some different consumables, but there's just like not like a wow moment. It's just more like if you're into artillery, you're gonna like some of the weapons that they offer. And Ashes of War, of course. I found my wings, by the way.
Oh, you will looking forward to that one so much.
I know, but it's an Ash of War, so it's like you have to plug it to your whatever weapon you use, and then you gain those wings.
Okay, okay. So you can freely change it to a different weapon.
Yep, you can put it on a heavy weapon. You can put it on a light weapon.
Wait, you
Yep.
can fly?
Yeah, there's wings. There's one that's it's an Ash of War, so it's a part of the whole skill thing, using your skill, and it puts you up in the air and it gives you nice golden wings, and you can attack your enemy. You attack your enemy.
Imagine that in PvP.
I've actually seen worse. I've actually
Sheesh.
seen worse. Have any of you played DMC before?
Yes.
Devil
Okay,
May Cry.
yes.
Oh, oh no! I just used to watch people play that thing.
Okay, so I seen a YouTuber do something that's crazy, and I want it. In PvP, right? You know Virgil's Judgment Slash?
Yes.
Yeah, they basically did that. Like he had the dual wield swords. He flashed forward, and there were so many slices, so many blade cuts. He killed 3 players in one go.
Oh, you're talking about the mod, the Elden Ring mod?
No, no, no! It's Ash of War from the DLC.
Really?
Yes.
I'm trying to figure what I
I
haven't
was like,
found
what
I
the
haven't
hell?
found all of the Ashes of War yet. Because there is an Ash of War for the backhand weapon that is OP. Like, it's breaking people in half. Like, it does like a full on like dash slash,
Ye-
and you can't block it, nothing.
that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's for the backhand weapons. I found those, but I
Who
haven't found the
else?
Ash of War for that.
Who
It's
else
gotta be
having played Devil
somewhere.
May Cry should understand it? Just basically Virgil's Judgment cut as an Ash of War.
You started over from scratch again?
Who? Cold?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, he's only level 30.
I don't have any. I don't have anything to fight on my main save. I've killed everything
Ah, that's why. Yeah.
Oh.
except for the only thing I've got on my save that isn't dead yet is Elden Beast. So I pretty much decided to start from scratch again.
I don't know what possessed me to do this like
uh,
DLC on NG Plus. I just don't.
I'm doing mine on New Game Plus too.
basically we all are.
I want it to be as hard as possible. That's why, like, the whole complaint thing is like, dude, get good, kid. You know, like, what the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language. Excuse my language.
I
I guess
mean, they didn't do really anything. All they did was amp up the first few upgrades of the blessing that it gives you a little bit more to it, and that's it.
They
But
upgraded, I think it was the first 10,
Yes, the first 10.
but it's like, leave the game alone.
but I don't see much of an issue because all you have to do is just start off without upgrading your blessings at all, see how you do, and then if it's too much, you just add in as you go. And that will counter whatever upgrade that they did. All they did, it's like I said in the Discord, is like it was like an even progression, like of you finding these ErdTree fragments, and when you use it to upgrade your blessing, it was pretty evened out. So they wanted you to explore more and not engage in too much heavy fights. But I guess for the complaints, it's like, yeah, the first 10. By the way, after a while, it takes 2 fragments and then 3 to even get the next blessing.
All I'm saying is, my friend, right, that I work with, was playing the DLC. He noticed a difference like midway through his playthrough of the game, and he's like, it's like night and day difference, and it's like he's running through the DLC now, and it's like, yeah, you can wait, but you know, like, what about the people that already started, dude? Like, that fucking sucks.
Oh yeah. I did watch someone, and basically it was like, what the hell did they do? Because I guess if you did start throwing stuff into the blessing, you're gonna see the
Right.
difference.
Right.
But it doesn't do anything for the person who is just beginning it. It's just the people who just started, because it's just been a week.
No, but it does though, because you know, it kind of takes away from the natural progression of the DLC the way it was when it first dropped, if that makes sense.
For just the people who bought it on drop and started playing it, yeah. But for a new person after this point, because not everyone has gotten to beating Mog. I think they said that like almost 60% of Elden Ring players have not even made the prerequisites to even enter the DLC, even though they bought the DLC.
When I calculated it, that amounts to 14 million players.
So the time they enter that in, if they learn to not just throw so much into the blessings right off the bat, then it would be difficult for them. They can just add as they go. It's just everyone that started within this week that
I hear you.
got to feel that effect. For me,
I
it
hear
didn't.
you, but
For me, it didn't, because I got already to Radon on Tuesday.
it's still like, all I'm saying is it takes away from the natural progression of the game of the DLC. It's like, okay, say you know about the soft caps, hard caps of certain levels or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
Say they made Vigor soft cap 15. Like, it's gonna come to a point where you know you're just not gonna want to level up. If your Vigor soft cap is at 15, or sorry, I think I said that the opposite. Say if they made the Vigor soft cap, I think it's at 30. Say if they made the Vigor soft cap at 40, right? You're gonna see a significant jump in your health bar early on in the game.
I don't think so.
Because instead of your vigor going up, like naturally, by maybe 2 or 3 points, it's gonna go up 4 or 5 points now.
But it doesn't affect vigor. It affects your defense.
I know, I'm just saying that as an example. I'm just using that as an example.
Like the defense, it only like the ErdTree blessing only brings up your defense and your attack power. That's it. That's all it does. It doesn't bring anything else up. I mean, all the highlighted stuff is just all the things that you need to survive getting hit. And then, of course, with more attack power, you can bring down their health, like a boss's health bar, bit better. That's about it.
Yeah, but you have to understand, right? The DLC, from what I've heard, from what FromSoft has said, what Bandai Namco has said, what Miyazaki himself has come out and stated, right? It's encouraging you to use the ErdTree fragments as the new form of how to get through the game. In the base game, you would level up your weapon, but the ErdTree fragments are the intended way it wants you to play. Because Miyazaki, I read an article before work this morning. Miyazaki basically said that he sucks at his own game, and he's gotten through Elden Ring by using every means necessary available.
That means you use summons, that means you use consumables, you use throwables, you use all of that.
So that's also a point to all the tryhards that are saying, don't use summons or you're not a real player. They need to shut the fuck up. I don't use summon on principle because I want to prove to myself that I can beat the game solo. That's my thing. You know, it's kind of like a rite of passage, but
I hate these enemies they're tracking.
Oh, they're terrible.
It's so annoying.
Yes, it is.
They will literally do a 720 as you're rolling around them.
This is your only friend. But I've long since abandoned the idea that if you have to use summons, you're a trash player.
That's just the very small, trashy cluster from software players.
The type of players, though, I think the whole DLC thing is a mentality, so to speak, the difficulty of the DLC, and I'll explain why. Remember when I said I was afraid of Lies of P because the demo, it pretty much kicked my ass to the curb?
Exactly.
Then I got the game. The game is easier, right, than the demo, because the demo is still pre-patched.
It is significantly easier.
Right. So then I played through the main game. I beat it. I went back to the demo and started from scratch to see if it was exactly the game or if it was me as a player. After beating Lies of P, the demo, which is still pre-patched from my understanding, remember, it kicked my ass. And I felt the difference when I started the full game. The demo felt so easy, so I could feel the damage was increased, yes, but my experience in playing the game made it almost feel like the demo and the full game were the same. I think after 2 years of not playing it, a lot of people are feeling the difficulty hugely, rather than if they were still playing Elden Ring fresh and then the DLC came out. And second, I think the 60-something% of players who are crying about the DLC are basically the casuals. I have to throw it out there. They are the players.
No, actually it wasn't. The ones who were the biggest crybabies about this were the veterans.
That's pitiful to me.
Yeah, it was.
Depends on what you refer to as a veteran. Because
the veterans for Elden Ring, the one who OP'd and did retch builds, did one-shots, did all those things, the ones that are, you know, really ego-driven, the ones who were saying, if you use a summon, if you use a spell, you're a bitch, you know, those were the ones who complained and shit. So
that's pitiful.
It depends
That's
on
pitiful to
which. It
me.
depends on which veteran we're talking about. Are we talking about a veteran who went and got the Dark Moon Greatsword and spammed that, or spammed Bloodhound Steps weapon art till they won?
Exactly.
Or are we talking about a
Exactly.
veteran who only used the weapon art if they needed it? Because the people I'm talking about are Uroburo, Fighting Cowboy, Peeves Peverson, Vadividya. These types of people play the game, and they got it before it released for everybody else. And for them, they managed to beat it in record time, made videos on it, and
That's what
everything.
I'm saying. It's
I'm
like
not
a
talking about those veterans. You didn't hear what I said. I'm talking about the ones
Ah,
in that toxic cluster that are ego driven.
right, and that's why I feel he should not have crumbled and left the game the way it was.
because
It doesn't make a difference too much either
there's a
because
reason. Listen to me, right?
it dwindles.
Ah,
I told you like the Scuttle Tree fragment when if you're someone already starting new in the game, like it takes about 2 fragments that you find. It starts with 1 and then it starts going up like 2 and then you need more to be able to get up to a certain point. I think I found at least like 50 fragments already and it only went up to like what, 16? So
Hear me
it's
out,
not
right?
it's
Hear
not
me
like
out.
you're getting 1 fragment and it brings it up by a notch. No, at a certain point you're going to be having to collect 2 or 3 to upgrade your blessing.
But hear me out, right?
And then it dwindles. It's not like even. It's not even anymore. That's the problem. That's what you're complaining about is that it's not like even progression anymore. It's now those first 10 or whatever, which will bring you up to 5, by the way.
No,
It'll
what
bring
I'm
you up
com
to a level 5 and that you get more damage and more defense.
what
It's
I'm
all been
complaining
pushed in the
about,
beginning.
what I'm complaining about is that I can't enjoy the natural progression of the DLC the way it was when it first released. Like I'm not gonna get that satisfaction anymore.
Just don't upgrade your Scoto tree.
Right, but when it
but
gets
you
to a
have to
point,
because that is the
e-
main focus. They
exactly.
intend for you to use the Scaducci fragments.
Now when I get to a point where I have no choice but to use it, am I gonna be like OP now? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, it doesn't, because the further you get into the game, the harder the bosses get.
I don't know. I'm not
I've
gonna
been
get.
through majority of the bosses and the areas. Like that beginning area of the game is probably the easiest. The rest of the areas of the game, the bosses are significantly harder. So it's not like you're getting nothing. It's just you have to plan it differently if you want to have a certain amount of difficulty. And then when you can't handle it anymore, then you have the if you collect the fragments, you just throw whatever in the blessing and try to see if it helps. And if it's too easy, I don't think it's going to be too easy. Some of these bosses, literally, like one hit, it takes half of your health bar down.
I've,
I got pecked twice in the beginning of the game and it killed me.
It that is not a universal rule. It doesn't apply to everybody because, right? When I was reading comments and I was watching a lot of videos and reading comments, right? Some people, this is why the reviews are mixed. It's not completely bad, but it's not completely good. There are a portion of people who are on NG plus 1, 2, or 3, right? But the
Yeah.
way they've built their character, the armor they have, the way they play, the difficulty of the DLC does not hit them as the way it hit you. Like they're saying, like they did the DLC, they beat it, or they made it that far, and they don't see like what's the big deal.
I never said it was difficult for me or hard. like too hard. Obviously,
Uh,
I got all the way to Radon,
uh.
and I actually discovered majority of the map without an issue and
Uh,
everything. And of course, I played the game how it was supposed to be played. Like I found all the fragments.
Right,
I
but
used summons.
what I'm saying is you're able to enjoy the natural progression of the game. Anybody who starts it late is not going to be able to anymore.
that
You're
is true.
st you're still not understanding. You
I
don't have
shouldn't.
you don't
Right, I
have to
get,
put anything in the blessings if you don't want to, if you want to feel the
but I
full
shouldn't.
No,
difficulty.
what
I
he's trying
shouldn't
to say
have to. I
is
shouldn't have to do that.
he wanted
Is
to
what I'm saying.
experience the full thing, right? The full thing, even the blessings included, but in their original state.
I thought it was all about gameplay, meaning you deal with
Yeah, but it
really
does affect the
difficult
gameplay.
bosses because the bosses, I mean, they could have gone the other route with what they did with the main game, which is nerf the bosses and everything, but they didn't do that. They didn't nerf the bosses in this game.
They
Everything is still at a high HP, and their hits are still hard, no matter how many skidoo trees you blessings you have. Like Radon,
no
or
no 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 no.
some of these other
I
bosses.
watched you fight the scorpion centipede lady boss,
Yeah.
and the damage you were taking at that time, I could tell the Scuducci fragments did wonders for you.
Of
Because
course, if I didn't have any, it would have been a one shot.
Right,
But you
but
know
see,
what my level it was when I
hey, good night,
entered that
Roy
ring.
Franklin Hartman the
I was
second.
at
Thank you
a
for tuning
level
in.
215 when I entered that fight. My character was at a level 215.
yeah, but okay. Your level doesn't matter in the DLC. I thought.
It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't get access to the full capability of your stats until you get the Skidoo fragments and start upgrading your
That's because
blessings.
the DLC is scaled so freaking high. It starts at
Right.
basically Farum Azula and then goes to Radagon, and it appears like the real end of the DLC goes even higher.
Really, there's a lot of things in here that fight like Millennia. And it's like I told you, a lot of the enemies, I feel like I'm just fighting against a bunch of Crucible Knights. And you know, because of my leveling, when I get my Skidoo blessings, I already have like high, it just gives me access to from my full my stats, really, what I leveled up in terms of my physical damage, that's for sure. But even with that, sometimes you just need skill and you need to summon and use as much things as possible.
It's like I get where people saying, if you feel that they made it too easy, just don't use the fragments. I get that. But it's like, why should I have to do that? Why can't I just play the game the way it's intended to be played? Because everybody wanted to complain and say, oh, well, it's too hard, so make it easier. So now when I get my first fragment, instead of me going from level 1 to 2, I go from level 1 to 3.
Well, that depends on where you at anyway and what you leveled in terms of your physical damage while before going into the game. It's not going to jack you up if you're at 120 to where I was at, my physical damage. Because I entered the DLC at a level 215. And now I'm at 250. I'm almost hitting the 300 level mark with my character. You could do that. You can enter probably at a 125, level 125.
Yeah, see, that requires me to start all over and level up to 125.
So since your current stat, you just keep that in mind. Just don't add to your blessings until you feel like it's hard.
Again, that still takes away from the way the game's intended to be played.
Well, at the end of the day, that's what From Software chose to do. At least they didn't nerf the bosses itself. They just changed the leveling a little bit.
I am very happy that they didn't nerf any bosses or enemies yet.
They're not gonna do it. This is their final hurrah for Elden Ring. They're just gonna do this, and they already said it in one of their things. Use the ErdTree fragments, use the summons, use the consumables, use this and that. It's like, we're not doing any more for you. We're not going to coddle you. We're not going to hold the babies by the hand.
Those are curved swords?
Yup.
You know you can do a backstep and there's a secret attack with curved swords? Yeah. But like when you...
So, I don't know how bad the rain sounds on my end.
You just have like a full-bloom storm going on.
Yes, we got some serious weather coming our way. But, okay, so the ErdTree fragments have been buffed. You don't necessarily have to use it, or you can use it as your own pace when you want to. But the next thing I wanted to talk about was the difficulty in terms of not damage, but actually skill-based difficulty of the bosses. What do you think about them?
There's one thing I do want to mention, since I've encountered a good portion of them, is that the input reading is amped up.
Input reading's been a thing in every From Software game.
I know, but they ramped it up.
No. Correction, no.
They've ramped it up. Like, there's a big difference.
Input reading was barely a thing in Dark Souls 1. I can't recall which enemy actually input reads that much. Dark Souls 2, they did more for the DLC. Dark Souls 3, it was occasional, or rather, they reacted to your position where you were. It's in mainly some bosses for Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls in Bloodborne and Elden Ring is where they really made it an actual part of the boss's repertoire. I can tell from experience since I've beaten them all.
So, I notice a big difference with the bosses' input reading in the DLC versus the main game. They really do charge at you, and they don't give you a moment to use your flask.
Yeah, but we knew that input reading was gonna be a thing. Like,
I know, but imagine it, like, really, like, quick response, like, super, like, in your face.
Basically, they just emptied up from what we were originally probably used to.
I mean, I don't think any of you guys probably you, Cold, watched at least some of those boss fights that I posted. But there was one boss where I literally had to hide behind a wall just to get my summons out because I would just get rammed by the boar every time at the door.
Oh, I know which one. General guy. Yeah, he was a pain for everybody. He dodged, he shielded, it didn't matter. I've seen people crying about him.
It's like you didn't know where to dodge, and sometimes I would get lucky with ones where I didn't get caught in the horns. But really, I had to go behind a wall so I could just summon. And the boar got stuck in the wall long enough for me to summon my Mimic Tear. That's how fast it pretty much moves and stuff. There's like the hippopotamus. I could not figure a way how to dodge away from that thing anyway. there's just like a weird thing with the when it opens its mouth and comes at you. Like, you could get lucky and get out of the way pretty quickly.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Take
Yeah.
care. It was nice knowing y'all.
Oh, that was a hard fall.
So most of the time I ended up using like what your method is, like your life insurance. I put that into my flask just so I can last the first. I wouldn't die or lose a good chunk of my health bar with that hippopotamus swallowing me up.
They could
So
nerf
don't.
Gale said that he fought a boss. Like, the bosses in the DLC are more aggressive than the main game. Which
That's what I was saying.
But he said he fought a boss to the point where he let the enemy soldiers whittle at the boss's HP before he even started attacking. And I know Gale has a bleed build with the double weapons, and he's not afraid to go on offense, so I'm surprised at that.
No, I had to rethink my build.
My thing is, if you can't beat the game, get better. Don't complain about it till they nerf it.
Okay, that is where you and I have a bit of a difference. Because while I agree with that, I also accept that you can take things too far. FromSoft can. Such as, I would say, Millennia, everything about Millennia, I can
Winter
learn to
Lanterns.
fight. Huh?
Winter Lanterns.
You've seen me demolish Winter Lanterns. You've seen me demolish them. So,
Yeah.
on your part, that is a skill issue.
I beat Bloodborne. But Winter Lanterns is too far.
You're not gonna like the ancient ones.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying, right?
That is one of...
But hear me out. I hate Winter Lanterns, but guess what? I got past it. I did what I had to do.
Okay.
It wasn't going back and nerfing Bloodborne because I was complaining about Winter Lanterns. There's forums. There's Reddit feeds on Winter Lanterns.
Till this day, they still watch
point.
my video on the Winter Lantern.
Like, I mean, come on. People still talking about Winter Lanterns. It's 2024.
It's the root of gaming trauma.
Hold on, but hear me out. But did they go back and change Winter Lanterns?
No. But then again, they didn't care too much about Bloodborne at some point.
No,
Like,
the Miyazaki understands that Bloodborne is one of their golden gooses.
Hell yeah, Bloodborne is.
Like, think about it.
it's a good game, but he doesn't want to change it. He doesn't want to touch it. He doesn't even want to make a sequel to it. It was like, I gave you guys a DLC.
That's wait. No, that's out of his hands. Sony, he admitted, Sony owns part of Bloodborne. They own the IP. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
it's up to Sony to decide how long they want to milk Bloodborne till they're ready to make a sequel or another DLC, and they're desperate.
I guess that was their way of getting it overseas is through Sony. I mean, that's why Elden Ring is through Bandai.
Yeah, and
So-
Elden Ring, FromSoft has, well, it's basically clear to everybody, but not said outright. They're trying to use the profits from Elden Ring to make this independent of Bandai Namco. So, like, when FromSoft makes a game, they have full 100% autonomy.
They need
It's
to
true.
stop. They need to stop playing and collab with NeoWiz. Oh, and you rolled in the Scarlet Rot?
That, actually, yes, rolling actually makes you take more status effects. Millicent! I don't want to kill baby girl Millicent. Yo, what is up, Squaddle?
It's
Why
Squaddly.
are you being invaded by her?
It's a game invasion,
It's a scripted invasion.
and you are right next to. Oh my goodness.
a
Do you have
cool
soap?
night.
Do you have soap?
What-
It's too late.
You know, I forgot that I created a lot of
think I
soap and I never used it.
Wait, soap can take up the build up?
Yeah.
It
Yes.
doesn't proc? I didn't know that.
Yes. If no, well, if you roll in Scarlet Rod,
Yeah,
soap
you
will
use.
stop it from progressively going back up.
I know because rolling for poison actually brings it up more. Makes
Yeah.
you take on poison more.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why I never rolled
Easy.
in it.
That easy.
You know what I would do? I would jump.
Really now?
I would jump to try to get myself to move faster.
Oh, Gail also says hello and good night to
You
you
gotta heal.
guys.
You gotta heal.
Did you not hear our fellow player Gail say good night to you guys?
Oh,
Talking
good
about my
night,
healing.
Gail.
Oh, good night, Gail.
Good night, Gail.
Okay, let's see. I have no.
No, he didn't say good night. Hey, what's going on, Pasquado?
Okay,
He said hello, by the way. He didn't say good night.
you potato.
Oh,
Potato,
okay, okay. Gotcha. Okay. No, and okay, so in the Caribbean, when you say hello, like past a certain time, it's good night. Got it.
Oh yeah, they end up saying good night even if the sun hasn't fully set yet.
Yeah.
Like as long as you see the sun setting, they're still saying good night.
I just like see at a certain hour and I'm like, hell, good night.
I actually do make a joke out of that. When people say good night to me in the Caribbean, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't see any stars in the sky yet.
So what?
I do make it.
He said
I say good night in the
Super-
morning. I'm like, good night.
super profundo on the early eve of your afternoon is my favorite greeting. That's too long.
Squattle's a classic.
Hey, good afternoon is enough for me.
But so on the topic of difficulty in terms of skill issue, right? We talked about the
I think it's an
ErdTree
ego issue too.
Like
ego. How?
Because a lot of players, they will bash their head in,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many other resources they could use to not give themselves a headache. But they just
I
don't want
agree with that.
they just don't want to use it.
I can agree with that.
I cannot deny that one.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because I will admit, on my first playthrough, I did abuse Mimic Tier, which I normally wouldn't have done, but Elden was a completely different beast. And on my repeated playthroughs afterwards, I did all the boss fights I did with Mimic Tier without it to prove my skill, which is what one of my buddies, Sweet, did. His next playthrough now of Elden Ring, he's not using any summons of any type. Because he used them in his first one. But on the topic of the bosses now, from Dark Souls 1 to 3, and a little bit with Bloodborne, the difficulty is that you have to react to enemies. The boss will always do their attack, but you have to react. Some has a bit of light input reading, some, depending on your position, is how they will attack. But mostly comes down to reaction. But what I don't like with Elden Ring is that the bosses punish you for being able or having the skills to react.
There's like a thing with it punishes you for being aggressive, and then it punishes you from being passive.
Yeah, they learn your playstyle.
Yeah.
One thing I can say is a lot of players don't like repetition. Right? They want, like Cold always says, they want to beat the game, but instead of focusing on beating the game, they don't want to learn. So I think that's where the complaints started rolling in, because I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good night, Luna.
I'm pretty sure these enemies in the DLC, you can avoid their attacks if you time it right. Because the game has iframes. The game it has iframes.
Yeah, but a major complaint to counter that, right? And which something I do agree with. You have to watch an enemy use a 7-hit combo, right? Then at the end of the combo, you think, well, your brain tells you that that's a perfect time to counterattack. You get 1 hit in, and then the enemy uses this technique to just middle finger you for trying to go for a 2nd hit. Then you have to see them use another 7-hit combo. Then when you think you can get to attack, they follow it up with another 7-hit combo. And that is the aspect, and a guy proved it, he showed it in his gameplay of an enemy doing that. And that's the part where I don't like about Elden Ring, where it punishes you for having the ability to counter and react to the enemy. Because Margit has a 16-hit combo, right?
Yep.
And you dodge the entire thing. And when you think you're gonna attack him, he literally counters you before you can hit after the 16-hit combo by using a spin slash or a back attack. This was not a thing in the previous games.
Okay, alright, right. Now hear me out on this now.
I'm listening.
In Sekiro, when you fight True Monk, you know, True Monk has 3 phases. Right? You know the boss I'm talking about, the one with the spear, with the long spear.
I fought her recently because I'm making new videos for that.
She has 3 phases. First phase, you can counterattack twice. The 2nd and 3rd phase, you can only counterattack once. But you only learn that by repeating and you only learn it by fighting the boss over and over and over again. And like I said, a lot of players don't like repetition. So I think that's where, oh my goodness. I think that's where majority of the complaints came in. Is because they kept repeatedly fighting the same thing over and over and over again, getting whacked. And they're not sitting there trying to learn every attack that this enemy is doing. They're just so hell-bent on winning.
I think your explanation is spot on, but using Sekiro as an example is completely wrong. And the reason I say that is because Sekiro is completely different than a Souls game. In the Souls game, you have to avoid the enemy as much as possible. In Sekiro, the mechanics of Sekiro allows you to hard counter 90% of their attacks and counterattack. The case in point is, you can always attack Corrupted Monk. She will just deflect you how you deflect her. In Dark Souls or in Elden Ring, right? You get attacked faster than you can attack the enemy for trying to get greedy.
All I'm saying is, you only gain that knowledge by studying the boss, by studying the enemy you're fighting. But if you're not studying, you're just running in there, you're frustrated, you just want to hurry up and beat the boss, you're not gonna learn it, you're not gonna get nowhere.
I agree with that, because I think one of the issues I have with Elden Ring over the previous Souls game, I watched a streamer recently, and if she tunes in tonight, no disrespect to you, sweetheart, I think I enjoy watching your games, but the problem is that they relied purely on Bloodhound Step only to defeat one boss, whereas in my opinion, I would have learned to dodge, learned to get quick hits in, and use Bloodhound Step at opportune times. But for them, their entire playstyle was to run around avoiding everything and only using Bloodhound Step, which I think is a terrible way to play. Not Bloodhound Step, Bloodhound's Finesse. The weapon art of the Bloodhound sword.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. The one that drains the health bar and keeps draining. And...
Oh.
Yeah,
the assassin blade thing, right?
No. Bloodhound's Finesse. The weapon art of Bloodhound's Fang. The one where you dash in with Bloodhound Step, hit, and then you dash out and then you can come back.
Yeah.
They basically ran around and spammed only that. Then I told them, like, well, you're only going to use the weapon arts? Like, you're not going to get in a heavy attack or a quick hit or a jump attack? Their response was Bloodhound's finesse was the safest thing.
Mm.
I think Elden Ring's issue is that it allows you to use very powerful or overpowered weapons arts, and the boss's aggressiveness is the only way to counter for that or compensate for that. Whereas with previous games, special attacks were a thing, but there's just no way the game allowed you to get away with it as a full win unless you specifically knew how to build your character around that. You had overpowered broken attacks in Dark Souls 3, but the amount of mana or so it took didn't allow you to do that. You just could not pull that shit off.
Yo
Or
said,
or
uh,
that in Dark Souls 1, you had powerful attacks, but they literally drained the weapon's durability and would break the weapon as compensation for using it. There was a give and take. In Elden Ring, I see a lot of people substituting skill or learning the game, as who was to put it, by simply using the weapons art to overpower the enemy or the boss.
Yeah, but that's the good thing about Elden Ring, is that you have options of how to play the game.
But those players account for the majority of players complaining that the game balance is broken
too
and
hard.
the game is too
Yeah.
hard.
And I'm like,
Because like, hear me out, right? When I was fighting Margit, people complained that he was too hard and stuff, right? But there was a there's a video of me streaming where I fought Margit with fist weapons, and I pretty much dominated him because of experience. So you could. Recently, I fought Melania, and I had issues with Melania. She was one-shotting me first. What did I do? I went in respect. I respect my character, right? Then I realized that strength, which I didn't really care for all that much. Again, apologize to the viewers for the rain in my background. We got a tropical storm. I realized that by upgrading strength, I increased my defense. So while I was in strength build, the extra defense combined with my armor, combined with the talisman I was using, I was able to tank the first hit of Waterfall Dance, and then realized I could dodge into her and out to avoid the last two hits, no problem. But it's the same fight, it's the same thing. Nothing about her has changed. I've just adjusted or adapted as a player, but that still
Right, but
doesn't
see,
change.
again though, that takes repetition and learning the game.
It does.
Majority of the people complaining don't want the repetition. They don't want to learn. They just, I want to win. I want to win.
I think the real problem is that people are very rigid. Like, they created a build, and their build was OP in the main game.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to change your build because the bosses in here function on a whole different level. They do different attacks, they use different kind of spells, you're dealing with a lot more gravity attacks on you. Like, it's very sporadic. The bosses are way more aggressive. That means I'm like, now my character is very tanky, by the way. And I started using different weapons. And I actually started putting stuff into Arcane and Faith.
Yo said, for me, I don't need to understand why people complain that the game is difficult. My logic is, they can't learn the game, better not to play and save the first. Thank you.
You know what? I agree with that. I agree with that.
Everyone knows I'm an unskilled gamer, and with it, not even within the week, I got to Radon.
You've done excellent. So why the fuck are they complaining and that made the game easier?
Because they didn't want to go and search for the ErdTree fragments. They didn't want to explore. They didn't want to do this. They didn't want to change their build. They didn't want to try different talismans.
But this is what I'm getting at. Leave the game alone for the people that want to play it the way it is.
I mean, all those upgrades are not benefiting me right now. Fuck, I'm towards the end of the game. Like
But
shit.
remember when I first started interacting with you, right? Why I said I was drawn to you and your channel is because you were showing me that despite my years of experience of getting good, you use your head to get through lies of P. And it just opened my mind up to, well, it's interesting to see somebody use everything at their disposal that the game offers them in order to achieve victory. And you're not wrong. Players do not want to change their builds. They don't. Actually, there is a well-known YouTuber known as Mug Thief, and I watched his video 4 days ago, and he explained exactly the same thing. The difficulty of Shadow of the ErdTree is that the very fun toys that everybody used to rampage through the main game, that's invalid in the DLC. Like, no longer is it viable to just spam Bloodhound's Finesse, Bloodhound's
Everybody,
Step, or Dark
right?
Moon's Greatsword. Like, the difficulty is so high in the DLC, that only gets you so far. He
Oh,
talked about that as well.
by the way, before I forget, because I know who else, and you mentioned about counter. There's actually, you want to get an even more easy mode in the DLC. If you actually did explore and do the NPC's quests, there is an NPC that will give you a weapon that can't be countered by any boss.
I don't want to know that NPC's name.
But wait. Now, here's the thing, right? In the past, people have brought up a concept that Elden FromSoft games aren't too hard, because if you explore enough, or you are willing to put in the work, you will find the tools that you need to get past the difficulty.
Yep.
So now that you mentioned that weapon, are you sure they needed to bring up the Scadutree Fragment Blessings if a weapon like that exists?
Thank you.
That's the thing, though.
People say Margit was hard, but if you were willing to explore, you could get Margit Shackle.
The thing is, we can complain about it right now that it got changed, because once a developer does that, they can't reverse that. They did it, so it's done.
Right.
All you can do is just try to work your way around it. Yeah, it's horrible that people bitched enough to where they had to do. At least they did that, and they didn't nerf a boss.
I'm with you. I understand that part, but I mean, just leave the game alone.
Well, I don't think they're gonna do anything more with it. They already stated, we just did this thing and that's it. We're not gonna baby you anymore.
But it's like, you know, who knows? We don't know if that's where they're done.
That's a fair
They're
point.
done.
That is a fair point.
I think they're done.
Wait,
people are still complaining that it's too hard.
Let me explain something to you, right? Before they dropped the patch, Bandai Namco released a notification, right? In which it said that, and you can look it up, this is an actual thing, they were going to actually nerf certain bosses and enemies, but then they changed that to only include the buffs to the Scadutree fragments, and they said that the nerf to the enemies and the bosses was actually a typo or an accident. They're not actually going to nerf the bosses. But keep in mind, the first post did say that they were going to nerf bosses and enemies. Now, somebody did say that FromSoft does shadow stuff, like shadow nerf, shadow buffs stuff, without actually telling the players. So I don't know if we're gonna, at some later point, get an update from a player who's been playing the game, studying this data, and saying that Stormbluff secretly nerfed this enemy. I don't know what they're gonna do at this point. It can go either way.
I've heard they do that with the weapons in the game, but I don't think they're gonna do that with the bosses. Like, they keep an eye on what build. I watched one player discuss that. They watch some YouTubers on how they treat their builds, and if that build is too OP, they won't basically nerf the
Like,
items for that build.
like when I found out they nerfed that, like they made Lies of P easier, it completely ruined the game for me. Cause like I can go on I can go on Lies of P right now and walk through Lexasia.
I haven't played in a while, but I'm pretty sure because I'm already familiar with it, I'll probably be okay.
But even
You
with the
see,
experience, if it was pre patch,
uh,
Luxasia is a beast of a fucking boss.
now you see, that comes back to what I said earlier, where I ran like the demo, which is pre-patch, made me run. I beat the main game, came back, and found that the game wasn't too hard, right? Like Sazia still gives me trouble because my last playthrough, it's after beating the game twice already on my third playthrough. Like Sazia still took me 2.5 hours to beat. Now, as Will said, he's gonna breeze through it, right? It comes down to the fact that he has experience beating Luxasia pre-patch to now. Experience that I don't have, so in every playthrough, Luxasia is a pain. But what if I would end up like who else, where because I played Lies of P pre-patch, I'm gonna steamroll Luxasia now. You see what I'm talking about? I want to experience the game in its original form on release. I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, do not want to play the version that everybody who's been crying about is now playing. Unfortunately, due to my situation, I couldn't buy the game yet, so I'm not gonna experience Shadow of the ErdTree in its original form. I now have to play on the terms, literally the terms, TRAMS, of the people who find that they don't want to get good, they don't want to overcome difficulty, which is what the game is built on. They want something done about why the game is so hard.
It's like I said, you can complain about it. You can say, no, I can't experience the game what it is. You know what you can do to make the game feel challenging for
So
you.
even my brother said them doing this is dumb.
They did it. You can't undo it. They
Yeah,
did it.
we can't undo it. But I feel gypped now. I feel like the DLC should cost $20 and not 40.
I mean, it's definitely worth 40.
All right.
Now,
It's worth the 40 even with
for the
that
amount
whole
of
thing.
content that FromSoft provides, for the quality of the content, I'm not just judging it on gameplay alone or difficulty. I will still say FromSoft delivers, so I will say the 40. I'm just gonna feel it. I'm just gonna feel a type of way about it, you know.
You just gotta be more mindful now because now it's, you're gonna just have to upgrade your blessings according as needed until you feel like it's too much because at a certain point you probably are gonna you're gonna put some into the blessings. I'm like, I didn't even started putting stuff in that skidoo tree thing until I faced against the dancing lion. And that was by accident on my live
Now,
stream. That
now
was an accident.
this is where I was going with this next talk, right? I feel that while the enemies are hard, or while the bosses are getting harder, they are not fun. And it's because
They're
of how
aggressive.
they are too aggressive and forcing me to play in a way that I don't like. Because the case in point is, I spent 2.5 hours fighting Lexasia, but I never got angry. I never got vexed. I never wanted to quit. I got
Right,
drained.
cause it's a fun fucking fight.
Right. I kept dying, but I didn't want to quit until I realized that physically I need to rest. Mentally, my ADHD has used up more concentration than I normally should have. But I enjoyed that fight so much. I ran through the second time, not to beat the game, but to just fight Lexasia again. And when I finally get that win, it feels so satisfying. Now, when I fight Melania, due to her waterfowl dance, that specific move, and her aggressiveness in phase 2, and as again, what many people are talking about, because when I watched the YouTuber Mug Thief, he brought up the same thing that I have inside my head. The problem is that you beat the boss, but you don't feel like, oh yes, that felt good. No, you feel like, oh thank goodness, it's fucking over. I don't want nothing more to do with that shit anymore. That's where the fights start becoming the point of, okay, this is a design issue. Because there are two crowds. People are saying that I want to steamroll the boss, and people are saying that the boss isn't that the boss does too much damage to me, it's that the boss doesn't feel fun to lose to, fun to beat.
Well,
And
I felt that way about Margit. Everybody like it.
uh
Margit is designed to be the brick wall of Elden Ring. Once you get
yeah, I
past
agree with
Margit, once you get past Margit and you level your character up past the level that you need to get past Margit, you start to have fun, like real fun in Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring is designed to
that.
fuck with you. As soon as you come out of first steps, what's there? A
Tree
fucking
Sentinel.
tree sentinel.
Unless you were me and you actually managed on one playthrough to get the golden straight sword by beating the first boss, then
Right, but
Tree Sentinel is
how
dope.
did you learn that?
Repetition.
Oh, okay, okay now. See, we getting somewhere now. Repetition. Nobody wants to any repetition.
You know I
Nobody
don't.
want to sit there and do that.
You know I don't do repetition.
Right, but see, that's probably why you don't feel as strongly, to the nerf as much as I do.
I mean, either way, that's just how I play. I play utilizing every dang resource, but I like exploring and doing that whole. I like story. That's just me. So I get my joy somehow. That's why I'm like, yeah, it's worth the $40, even though the bosses are super aggressive and they don't let you breathe. I got frustrated with Commander guys. That dude gave me a headache.
I can understand Liza P. They're a fledgling company. They could maybe need more accessibility. Right, I get that. But From Software? Come on now. You guys done made it already. Like From Software is the
True.
golden standard.
They invented the formula.
Right.
I mean,
Y'all done made it.
look at
You
all
don't
the
need
decades.
to accommodate.
Look at all the decades of gaming. We had horror, we had action, we had shooter, thriller. They invented a new genre in all the years that passed. They created Souls-like, so I don't know. I feel that Dark Souls 3 got it right, where beating a boss came down to you, the player, how your reaction speed was, versus how fast the boss moves or how the boss acts, versus how you anticipate and react to the moves. Whereas with Elden Ring, you have to play by the game's rules. Because you can have the speed, have the reflex, but the game says, no, you weren't supposed to attack there, fuck you.
Exactly.
And that is the aspect to Elden Ring that I have a serious issue with.
Shield are for pussies, but I use a shield.
The Squatter said, I mean, they
But
do
even-
struggle. They've been around for a long time.
Okay, right. I saw another YouTuber, Liberalon, explain. He was a high level. He had the fingerprint shield, which has the highest defense, most stability, right? And he was fighting
Yep.
Commander Gaius. Do you know what kept happening
What?
to him?
He
Gaius
kept
was,
getting rammed?
Gaius was so aggressive, and even when Liberalon positioned himself properly and was ready to attack and dodge the first 5 hits, Gaius would just pull out something and hit the shield so much he broke his defense and started killing the guy.
Yeah, you get stunned.
Not even shield users are safe.
Yeah, that's why I didn't use a shield and I just focused on other things.
See, another point we made earlier. Your greatest toy or your accomplishment that helped you, your style, was taken away from you, whether you like it or not.
I mean, I couldn't use Moonveil either.
Now, that's something like that is not going to affect me because, as you can tell from my Lord of All Arms video, I don't have that problem with one build. But to everybody else who isn't me and who doesn't enjoy going around using every type of weapon, I kind of feel for them. I honestly do.
I used a bunch of different new weapons just for this game.
Well, no, mainly because you were forced to.
Hold on, see, where's my calculator?
Well, that's
hold
the
on.
whole
Where's my
point.
calculator? Where's my calculator?
You have to be flexible. You can't be rigid with a build.
How much is Elden Ring? $70? Like the base game?
Yes.
Base game $70, right?
Yes.
The Squaddle said they struggled. They've been around for a long. They made $1 billion on Elden Ring alone.
Yeah, but Elden Ring is the first
That
of
was
its...
the marketing tactic that they did.
Yeah, you gotta understand, right? Everything else they made has been specifically catered to certain players.
But they're not struggling. They're doing just fine.
They're doing fine now after Elden Ring. Elden Ring is their biggest success. None of the previous Souls games, not Sekiro, not Bloodborne, has hit the heights. Elden Ring in its first 3 days sold more than the entire series of other games combined.
I was telling you, it was the marketing tactic of like one of the marketing members of Bandai. He did that. I'm like, that whole thing where, they show you just a little taste of a trailer and then they don't say anything for 2 years? That was the marketing tactic for Elden Ring? They didn't say anything for 2 years, but then 6 months before the release date, they started marketing it like hell. Like, even you had celebrities talking about it. They had it on buses. They had it at bus stops. They had it on trains marketing this game. And then release date happened.
Okay, I see what he's saying. He's talking about
none of the
OG.
other games.
They marketed Elden Ring differently than they did the other Soul series.
Right. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
They also did that, I guess, with Red Dead Redemption 2. They marketed it the same way. They used the same tactic. But I guess they called that the silent marketing.
but we can all agree, From Software has had a decent run of successful games since Dark Souls came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is 100% correct.
Right?
It's not just that's kind of why Bloodborne is owned by Sony and they don't want to let go.
Well,
because
Elden Ring is also co-owned with Bandai. Who knows? Maybe Bandai is the one who was like, you know what, we gotta do something.
Because
But now here's my thing. Did they patch Dark Souls 1?
Actually, yes, they did. They did. Dark Souls 1 on release was actually too hard, and they gave it certain aspects of patch. Because in Dark Souls 1, there's a cemetery where the enemies don't give you souls, and they are really freaking hard. They patched that. There were enemies who just were too freaking hard. When you reached a halfway point through the game, they did patch that. They actually did take it too far, according to the fans. And now, experiencing Dark Souls is hard.
Alright, maybe I'm just being, too.
I'm just saying, right? Yes.
Maybe I'm just being too driven.
Can From Software take things too far to the point where they hardly give you a chance? Yes, they have. They can. They have. Can they fix that? Yes. Do I think that applies to the DLC right now? Even though I haven't played it? No, I don't actually think so at all. I don't think it applies to the DLC.
I mean,
Oh, Mini
I
Wheels is in
got
the background.
I got through a lot of things, but definitely,
What's up?
you know, there's a big difference between me getting through something and actually enjoying it. But it's because I enjoy other aspects of the game other
Mm-hmm.
than doing the boss fights. That's how I'm able to enjoy it. But if you're a gamer who enjoys going to boss fights,
Mm-hmm.
you could you could easily just not enjoy the fight.
You said I think From Software is being challenged by their market. I can agree. Lies of P did extremely well. Stellar Blade is doing extremely well.
Oh, I have to get back into that too. You're reminding me.
Um, um, and there's a lot of games that are coming out that are Souls-like that people are trying just because of how well these other games are doing.
Like Flintlock?
I don't know about that one. That one seems a little.
It is being marketed as a Souls-like along with Noctria.
I haven't checked out Flintlock, so I can't comment on that. I'm gonna have to watch it after.
Your mother set me up. Your mother set me up. She gave me a well-fed baby that was gonna spit up all over my Jordan track pants. And
Oh my god!
all
Oh,
right,
mom must be having quite the laugh right now.
all
Oh.
right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, your mama set me up. Yeah,
Look at
she
Lies of
did.
P, right? From Software doesn't have to make the hardest game.
It
Because
don't.
Miyazaki has said it, right? When he makes a FromSoft game, difficulty isn't his forte. It isn't his
One
mindset. He doesn't
one
make a
thing.
game difficult for the sake of being difficult. The goal is that he wants you to feel a sense of accomplishment for the challenge. I think what's happening and what I said
No.
earliest when FromSoft
Why you never
released
remind
Elden
me?
Ring, I think the player
You might
base,
be able to
like the
find something in
dedicated
there. Check
fans of
that.
Elden Ring, players have gotten so much better at the games since Dark Souls came out that it might be getting a little bit harder for them to make new games without, players just coming up after playing it 2-3 days and steamrolling through the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a clear-cut difference of someone who's playing game now compared to somebody who first started playing games, let's say back in early 2000s.
Yeah, 100%.
The only people, the only difference is the mindset. Since early, like, players back in the 90s, they knew what difficulty was, You only had one life, and you had to play through the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have no save, no checkpoint, yes.
Right, but see, a lot of people also don't know what it was like coming up from memory cards.
I do remember
Oh,
those.
yeah, that
You
that
know
is
what I
true.
mean?
That is
A
true.
lot of people don't know what it was like coming up from memory cards. Unexpected power outages. You didn't save your game. Guess what? You got to start from the beginning.
Oh, fuck
Yep.
you.
Right?
My brother
Right?
is
Yep.
walking past the room, he touches the cord, the game goes off. Fuck
Touches the
you.
cord. That's it. You got to start
And you're
from the
like,
beginning.
no!
I've been on the receiving end and have been the person to do that to other people. Oh my
Like, I mean,
goodness.
I mean, it's just we're constantly accommodating and not letting people overcome their challenges.
Hmm.
Personally, I would like Elden Ring to be a one and done where like this design choice of the bosses, of
Dang,
how
it's
aggressive and how they input read, I think I would like Miyazaki to do something else in his next game.
it's
Does
like
not
beat it or don't play it.
Yes, pretty much. Now it took me 2 years and level 200 and something, right? Till now I released a video recently called The Path of Aggression, where I reached the point where I built my character, I've played the game enough, I have enough experience and repetition, to the point where I'm fighting Melania as aggressive as possible. I'm dodging what I can, tanking what I cannot, and still running up and attacking her till I won, and I managed to beat her in about 4 or 5 minutes.
I beat Margit only getting hit one time.
Well, congratulations, bro. How the heavens did you pull that off?
Like I started the game over.
Aw.
I think I got myself to like level maybe 30 something, and I went straight to the market fight,
Mm.
and I beat him, only getting hit once. Now, if you look at, I have a video uploaded from when like I first tried playing Elden Ring. Margit absolutely kicked my ass. Like I'm talking, I'm throwing controllers, I'm throwing my headset, but through repetition, I was able to beat him and only get hit once. There's no need to nerf the game. Jade's done just fine.
Yeah. For
She's
some
done
sheer
just
reason.
fine.
Yes,
For some
yes,
sheer reason, I'm doing just fine.
and I mean this in no offensive way. She's the weakest of us, but she's doing just fine. She's already made it to the end of the game.
Right. She's done just fine. You telling me these people that have been playing Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne are complaining that this DLC is this hard and she's just steamrolling through it. I'm talking video after video after video after video.
I have videos set up all the way until like August.
Like, bro, come on, man. Get over it, people. Knuckle up.
I'm, I'm the weakest link, but I got through the game.
He has a very
from-
good point.
We came from memory cards, bro.
He has a very good point. He has a very good point because, yeah, Jade, who I understand that she's an unskilled gamer, she doesn't go in the boss fight fully set up build, start dodging, counter attacking, and everything like we do, you know?
No, she will run around for 15 minutes and get one hit off and then run around for another 15 minutes. Like, I mean, bro, like, come on. And she's not complaining.
So true, just run around for 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
I can't outrun Radon, though.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. It didn't need to be nerfed. We don't need to be accommodating for fucking crybabies. Get over it. Get over it. If you don't like it, you can play Lies of P. They patched that. There you go. You got an easier game.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I mean, come
Oh
on.
my goodness.
You can't get any better than Lies and P. That is so linear. It's so rich. Just like enjoy it.
My goodness.
One thing I
don't
do
think he's
love.
wrong.
One thing I do look. Even Gamer Nerds Guild DLC don't need nerfing.
Because first of all, it's optional. You know what you're getting into when you
Right.
start a DLC.
I mean, you know, people are having trouble if they can't even get the prerequisites done for even the main game to get to the DLC.
14
It
million
says a
players.
lot.
Let me repeat that. 14 million players have not
14.
beaten Moog. Because when you calculate, when you write, when you divide, when you find out how much is 16% of 25 million sales, that's the amount of players. 66%, I mean, of 25 million sales, that's 40 million. You understand that 14, 15 million have not beaten Moog.
You want me to tell you why though?
They haven't gotten good.
No. It's not that they haven't gotten good. Moog is optional. Did you explore enough to fight him?
That's exactly.
That's the issue. Did you do enough exploration to fight Moog? Did you go to deep root depths? Majority of you know how many people like that I talk to now? They're like, hey, have you ever been to deep root depths in Elden Ring? No, what the fuck is that?
That's like the biggest farming spot. They have not found it.
It's like no, but because it's optional, a lot of people don't know. Like the whole underground map is bigger than just Seofa River Well or Nokron. It didn't take the time to do the exploration to to get there. They didn't do White Mask Var's quest.
Nope. And that's actually the problem with the DLC right now. Nope. The players that went in didn't
Mm.
want to explore.
But
Like
you
there's
see,
like you could have avoided a main boss and not fight any boss whatsoever because From Software usually gives you a shortcut, a way to avoid that so you can go explore, get more materials that you need,
get
and then you can
stronger
go
and then
tackle
come
the
back
boss.
later.
Yeah.
But it looks like because a guy was explaining, right, that every FromSoft game, if you take the time to explore, you will eventually, like I said earlier, get the tools you require or you can use to beat the challenge that's in front of you.
Huh?
But there's an entire shortcut.
What happened there?
There's a shortcut to another area because you can't beat the area in
Oh,
front
a
of
little
you.
something.
As his
I don't know
difficulty
what I can. I am
subjective,
my
you have the
usual
choice of
15
going
minutes.
through that other area.
he's,
So
he's ready to
yeah,
lay on your bosom.
So
yeah. You
they
miss his
were
mommy?
complaining of, I think a lot of people were complaining about Rilana whatever, and that's like she does some heck of a moves. I didn't know what you were talking about last time about the twin blade like knight, and I was like I didn't fight any twin blade knight yet. I don't know
Oh,
what you're talking about, and I didn't know it was
let go.
that boss that's in the
Let go.
castle that
Let
people
go.
were
Good
complaining
night.
about and probably couldn't get through, thinking there was no shortcut. There was a shortcut.
Yeah, but I've watched people fight Rilana, right? And
Yeah.
the only issue I see with Rilana that I don't like, it's not her damage, it's not her HP, it's her aggressiveness.
Oh, she inputs reads like crazy.
Like you see, back in when I fought the last
Oh,
boss of the final DLC of Dark Souls 3, right? He had some crazy moves. He did some shit that we've never seen bosses capable of doing in a Souls game, right? But the
Mm.
point is that unless you were, well, his input reading wasn't always active. Like, he would input read once or twice, but there were times where, because he's doing an animation or because he's doing a hit, you can heal at point blank range of
Gamer
him.
Nerd Scale said didn't like them ants and deep root deaths. Too large
But,
ants.
but, in Elden
especially
Ring,
especially the
you
ones with the
have,
big heads.
oh, those,
That's like a shield.
Oh
the
yeah, the one that
ends,
like headbutts you.
Yeah.
those were annoying, but if you have high enough damage, they're not too bad, honestly. The
No,
thing
you just
about,
use fire pots.
okay, I didn't do that. I just got stronger weapons, got a little range, and took care of them. But the point I'm trying to make is that at the end of the DLC in Dark Souls 3, it comes down to your reaction speed. And the bosses, the same way you have animations, but when you get stuck in them, you are committed. The same rule applies to the bosses. If you see
Sidebar
them
cold.
doing,
You know you can explode those poison spores.
well, by using poison against them, yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
out
okay.
poison the poison. I had a dagger that was poisoned just for that. But the point is that the
I have the
bosses have
serpent blade
animations,
that's
right, that
poison.
locks them. In Elden Ring, right, no matter what an enemy, what a boss is doing, will automatically change their animations and hard counter you when you do certain things, which I think is bullshit. I don't think their damage is too high. I don't think their HP is too much. I think the fact that they hard counter you for having the skill to do certain things is just not fair because there's too much of it. But yet still though, I still prove that you can be aggressive with Melania, you can be aggressive with Godfrey, you can be aggressive with Malakath.
Yeah,
A
but some
boss
some
that
some bosses in Sekiro do the same thing.
I'm not making a Sekiro comparison because Sekiro has perfect deflection. You have the ability to hard counter a majority of the enemy's moves.
Yeah, but Elden Ring has more iframes than Sekiro.
I would arguably, oh no, I would unarguably say the deflection is superior to dodging.
Right. Right.
Deflection is superior to dodging. It is easier. for me to deflect Ishin or Genichiro and his flurry of attacks than it would be for me to dodge them if I was a Dark Souls character. And that's
Oh, by
another
the way,
point.
there's a cracked tier for deflection.
Yes. Wait, what?
Yeah,
huh?
in the DLC, one of the fire golems, they'll give you a cracked tier for deflection. You can deflect a boss if you use that cracked tier.
You see, that's another thing, another point that people were making. Now, you've all played Sekiro, right? And
Yeah.
the thing I want to mention is that do you ever feel like certain bosses in Elden Ring were meant to be in Sekiro and not Elden Ring? Because in Sekiro, you would have had a chance to fight back and be fair. But because you're Elden Ring, you feel like you're limited. People mention that.
I don't feel like I'm limited in Elden Ring. Elden Ring for me is a lot easier than Sekiro.
Okay, then it's a skill difference.
Because you have
But
all these
that's
options.
different playstyle again. Elden
Oh,
Ring, right? Elden Ring, you do have more options. Elden Ring, you do have more room to kind of run around and take your time with the boss fight. Sekiro, you don't. You have to be in their face to do the damage needed
now, now,
for that boss fight.
if they're now, if I start a new playthrough right now, of each game, both Elden Ring and Sekiro, right?
Uh-huh.
At base form, no level ups, I am going to steamroll majority of Sekiro bosses while struggling with the beginning bosses of Elden Ring. Because in my opinion, the mechanics of Sekiro, once you understand them, makes it easier to play than Elden Ring. Elden Ring feels like a typical Souls game. My skills are limited by my level of my character and my weapons. Whereas with Sekiro, your attack damage and
Him and
HP
her skill set.
aren't
He might
a big factor. You're more
might
limited
try
by your
Sekiro
skill set.
soon. Hearing you three praise in the game makes me consider playing that. No, only two praise in the game.
Jade gave up. It was
Jade
too hard for her.
Jade wanted to set fire to that
That's so true.
If she had a physical copy, she would have probably broken it with a hammer.
Probably, and I have plenty of those.
But in my opinion, right, a part of Elden Ring difficulty or any of the previous game comes down to the level of your character and your weapon, not just your skills. You compensate with your skills with levels, whereas in Sekiro, you are more focused on your skills. No matter how many memories you get, which to
Right.
upgrade your attack power, you have to overcome a boss.
I see what he's saying.
To get
You don't need it though. You can
no,
just you can just perfect deflect your way and still
I
beat the
made it
boss
to the
at it.
Guardian Ape, which is the halfway point of the game, without
Mhm.
increasing my attack power or my HP and posture. I know I'm going to have a serious brain aneurysm attempting to reach Lindell in Elden Ring without upgrading anything.
On a good note,
but
I
that's
still
how
get to do
Elden
the
Ring was
disrespectful jiggle
built.
in the
That was a design choice. They didn't want you to go straight to a boss. They wanted you to go explore the landscape.
Alright, but people are not doing that in the DLC, and
Now,
instead
wait,
they're
wait,
going
wait. Now,
into fights under leveled and
right? Here's where I want to apply this to Elden, right? Elden, Millennia is waterfall mounts. Do you guys think it's fair?
fucking no.
It
Definitely.
No, it's not fair.
I can't. I can't
So,
with that woman.
With me pumping in, right, a 250 levels into my character, getting a good enough armor, right, and learning her patterns to counter her, how is it fair and fun that Millennia at any moment during the fight? Because before, pre-patch, right, you knew exactly when Melania was going to do her waterfall dance because she only did it 3 times. At 25% HP, at half HP, and at remaining
Mm-hmm.
a maximum of 75 HP. They changed it after a patch to the point
So
where
who else? Are you able to do the jiggle in Sekiro also? Yes, you can do the jiggle.
yes, you can. They changed it to a point where in Elden Ring, as long as she's lost enough health, she could actually do waterfall dance back to back. I've seen her do it to me during the fight.
Waterfowl dance.
I think in Elden Ring, I don't have a problem with the damage. I don't have all the HP. But I think to compensate for the fact that the players who are playing Elden Ring have gotten better, as well as you have more options to do game-breaking stuff with certain weapons arts, their Ashes of War. They added a few things in Elden Ring that is just bullshit. That even when I beat the boss, even when I overcome the difficulty, I did not have fun. I did not enjoy the fight.
You enjoy it when it's me and who else are there.
That's different. I had already played for the game twice already, and at that point, I was just enjoying the camaraderie with you guys, the jokes, the laughs, the rampage. As a matter of fact, I think actually True Sentinel was a good challenge for us.
Yep.
Because we have to strategize, plan, and come back.
Yeah. But we got that through what? Repetition. I just feel that
he's
if
determined
people,
to ride that one out to the marrow in his bones.
if people took their time to learn the enemies of the DLC, there would not be as much complaints, and you would enjoy the game for the difficulty that it has.
You can't forget who else. We died for 2 hours against that Sentinel.
2 hours.
That's, I think the time you spent dying against the boss is
Mikolash.
We are
I think it's
crazy.
Mikolash.
Dying for 2 hours straight
Mikolash.
to the draconic tree sentinel and Mikolash. That's true.
Would you say that? Would you say that it was a bad experience?
We pushed that character to the max to where he was doing weird shit. Remember that? We pushed that character.
I don't know what.
Oh my goodness!
He was climbing on top of us like mid-fight. Like what the fuck?
I know, he was like bopping you in the head. He actually started attacking you outside the arena. He attacked me. He did the whole slug thing in the face and I died right there.
Squado said I was gonna say the power of friendship, but repetition works too.
The power of friendship. Each of those just 2 hours.
Half a week to take Millennia down. See, now and here's where like.
But look at Orphan of Cause, right? Orphan of Cause.
I used the summon against Millennia. Now while everybody was using Mimic Tear, I didn't use Mimic Tear. I used Black Knife.
Tish.
Yeah, because
I used Black Knife Tish.
Tish and Mimic Tear are known as the best summons.
Those bats can do it. Those bats can do it. That's bringing me back to the gravesite field of getting pecked to death by those ostriches. I think they were ostriches. I don't know what the hell. These design creatures. You know what? Who else? I thought this game was just pulling my leg, but why in the world would you design a scorpion/spider? It was a spider scorpion.
Wait,
genuinely.
which one? Wait. Who are you
it's
talking
not a spider.
I'm talking about the DLC.
No.
Oh,
it's not a spider.
I didn't watch
it's
it.
not a spider scorpion. It's a scorpion centipede. The front half is clearly a centipede.
It looked like a spider. No, I'm talking about of the regular playthrough through like Bellarot, like.
You're talking about
Bellarot
the boss.
Tower settlement.
You're talking about the pinkish purple boss, right?
No, I'm not talking about the boss. I'm just talking about the plain old creatures that you just come across in the field of things.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I watched the boss
You
fight.
just have arachnophobia.
I do!
I thought you were talking about the boss, because the boss is pretty
But they turned it into a spider slash scorpion. It had a scorpion tail.
Gail said, they made his skin crawl.
I'm like, this is enough. I'm like, Bloodborne was enough with its spiders, but this one, I'm like, oh my god, took it up a whole nother level.
Nah, that's just a you issue. You have arachnophobia.
That ain't nothing. Play Demon Souls and fight that big ass spider in that damn cave.
I did. I beat
Yeah,
that.
she did.
Oh, okay.
And while you all were running around with someone for shield, someone trying to get up close, I just sniped it and finished with it.
I used magic on it. It's weak to magic.
I just walked up to its face and swung my sword.
You
Same as
hide.
Gale.
You
Same
go
as Gale.
towards the left side. There's the pillar there. It will shoot at you and not hit you, and that's where I just sniped that thing with my wand.
Wow.
I got through Demon Souls pretty good.
Demon Souls is not actually hard. I've always said that. It's not actually hard. I mean, who wants to see me broke the game? At some point.
I mean, for my second Souls game, it wasn't a half bad experience.
Oh my goodness, I did not pay attention to my HP.
Them things do bleed too?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Shiitake mushroom.
When they bite you, I don't think their claws do, okay?
Yeah, there's some bosses in the DLC that do killer amount of bleed damage.
Why you guys love using Simon Bowburn and the really good stuff? I just use an axe.
I use the whirligig saw. I like to saw
for
through
one,
things.
From my experience, Simon's Bowblade is absolutely the most unique weapon. But also, I never play a Souls game without an option of range at my disposal.
Call me fidget spinner.
I remember that. Wasn't it Blitz who set up the free fidget spinners?
It was somebody in the chat called us
I think it was
fidget
Blitz. I don't know, for the Bloodstone dude, I just wanted all of us to use the axe together. And we spin to win that boss. Oh my goodness, that was funny.
I forgot what boss we all three of us used the axe.
Yes,
Yes,
coin.
it was.
Oh yeah, that's what.
We also
That's
did it
only-
for Bloodstone Beast as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yep. Sure did.
Yeah,
Gascoigne
I-
actually put up more of a fight, I will say that.
Yeah, Bloodstar Beast was absolutely stun locked for. Like, I don't think none of us got poisoned that fight.
I did. I
Oh,
died
okay.
towards the end, and I was like, "You guys got this."
I somehow like spiders despite being terrified of them. Alright, if you like them, go to Australia.
Yeah, they're nice and big over there.
Oh my goodness.
I seen a video somebody uploaded. They were in Australia, and it was like millions of spiders, like over the street. Like they were walking in the middle of the street, and there were like webs and spiders everywhere above them. In
I
the
want
street.
a freaking blowtorch, if that's the case.
I was just like,
You know where I'm never visiting in this world. Exactly, I am not visiting there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll never go there.
I'm like, I'm sure they have nice beaches and stuff, and I probably could find a safe space away from spiders, but oh my fucking gosh.
This squad said not that much.
Oh my god. I'm like, I don't know how people can handle. I guess, you know, they're so used to it. Like,
Dude, them huntsman spiders are huge, and they're like I have big hands, bro. Them huntsman spiders are bigger than my fucking hand. Like, jeez, dude. Like,
they look like the size of a not baseball, I mean a basketball.
yes.
Oh, like, it looked like it had booties on. I saw that video.
Things are gargantuan, bro.
Oh no. I no.
Look at this
I can't.
cut. Oh my god, it's covering the whole corner of the wall.
Oh my god, you're watching that video right now? I'm like, no, I would never sleep tonight.
Nah, I just searched up huntsman spider. Jeez.
I don't go searching for things that scare me half to death.
If I
So
see one of those, I'll just immediately go.
that I always get a chuckle when he does that. I find it really funny.
Yeah, you know something is bad when he does that.
So I want to move on to the next part now about difficulty, right? How, Jade, how did you end up coming to enjoy Souls games in spite of their difficulties?
That's a good question.
I just like strategizing how to get through a game. You guys, like, not about winning the game. You guys are like, I want to get good at the game. I'm like, I want to challenge myself to just get through a game that people find challenging and difficult. But I like the story and the lore of these games. These most challenging games, they have really good story.
You have
You
to
know
do a lot
me,
of you have to do a lot of searching to understand it though.
but it's like the
That's one thing I like. I think Miyazaki could have done better in a Souls game. Like you hop in a Souls game and it's just like you're there, right? There's no backstory, there's no explanation, there's no nothing.
But I don't know, because I guess I'm so familiar with Lovecraftian and sci-fi that I was like, oh my god, I'm playing this. This looks too good. And of course, I almost did quit the game because I couldn't figure out how to equip the weapons. So that's why my most
Which game did you
popular
play first?
Bloodborne. That's why it's my most popular video right now. It's like how to easily equip your weapon in Bloodborne. That's my
What?
most popular video right now because
You
a lot
need
of people are a lot of people are starting to play Bloodborne, and I guess they're stumbling upon my videos on how to equip their weapons in Bloodborne because
Okay.
that's the thing I had trouble with.
Well, I just never had that issue. I did have an issue with how to equip magic in the other games. That I didn't realize.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
him. Magma worm time.
So can you imagine
Oh wait, you gotta fight
Bloodborne
another one.
being your starting game in the Soul series and you don't know how to equip your weapon? Of course you're gonna be like, fuck this shit, and I'm gonna uninstall it.
Fuck this shit,
But I
I'm out.
no, I
thanks.
think that's an
Shit, I'm
excessive
out.
reaction. I'll tell you why.
Don't mind me, I'ma just
I
grab
didn't
my
know how to
shit
use
and
magic in
leave.
my first Souls game, so I figured I'd bust my head trying. It's time to look it up. I didn't get angry and uninstall the game.
Going to.
No, but I did look it up and then I was like, you know what, this wasn't very obvious in my face. Let me just do a dang video too. But that was much later in life. But I played through once I figured that out, I just started getting through the game. And the game is linear. So, yeah. Bloodborne was my first, and then when I eventually got my
Oh.
PS5, I played Demon Souls, and it just cascaded from there.
Woo.
Okay.
Each one I went through as an unskilled gamer.
Oh, they're inviting me to play Call of Duty.
So how how do you feel about him now?
I feel pretty good just for the fact that I know that I'm not a good player for these types of games and I'm still able to beat the game. That's the accomplishment I feel coming from someone who's dyslexic with the controller.
You know, Pasquale, that makes a lot of fucking sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. It's a
Alright.
Japanese storytelling is wildly different. The best way I heard it told is Western storytelling is going from A through Z. Japan is like giving you A and Z, and you can figure it out from there.
That I'm gonna need to stop here. That's something I actually like about Japan storytelling. But it's off topic for a while. American stuff, they tell you exactly what's going on and what they are going to do right in front of your face.
Yeah, it's
There's
pretty
nothing
predictable.
subtle about it. With whenever I've read a manga or watched a movie from Japanese, there are stuff you figure out because you are paying attention to what is in front of you. There is stuff you can only know because if you were just watching it like mindlessly watching like an American movie, you'll miss a lot of deeper meaning, deeper stuff in it. So that's the style of how Japanese do stuff. I enjoy that
Well, I mean,
because
well, Neo is in
American,
South Korea. Does it count? Because
Yeah.
like,
well,
because
it's a
like,
you could say Asian then if you want to be more broad.
right, right.
It's Eastern
Liza
Asian.
P. Liza P. had a beautiful story,
Yep.
and it went from A through Z. And I feel like Liza P.'s story is like 10 times better than Elden Ring's story.
I don't disagree with you there. I don't disagree with you there. I think I enjoy Liza P's story more because it didn't spoon feed you everything. You know, it didn't spoon feed you. But you were able to. It's nice to have a game where you can just understand and keep up with what's happening around you.
Yep.
Yo, Flip. Oh my goodness, I got distracted.
Oh, goodbye.
Flip! No, one of my subscribers, Flip. It's been so long since I've seen Flip, since The Last of Us. I literally was not paying attention to what I was doing.
I think
Yo,
I'm gonna
welcome to the
call it
stream, Flip.
here and play some Call of Duty with my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this discussion. We need to do this more often.
I
Before
know.
you
This
leave,
is nice and relaxing.
before you leave, I want you to tell me your side now. How you got into Souls games in detail. How you feel about them.
Um, me, I love everything about them. I like the difficulty factor. Like I said, I grew up from memory cards. Games like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame is one of the hardest games I've ever played.
Oh,
Um,
I've always wanted to play that though. I never got a
like
chance.
there's a bunch of games I've played that, difficulty wrenching. And, one of my friends was just like, yo, like you should try. Actually, it was Noriega. Well, you guys probably seen him in my chat before, but
Yeah, I have seen Noriega.
yeah, he basically was like, yo, like me and him are systemly. He's like a really close friend of mine. He was like, you know what? Um, he was like, you should get Elden Ring and try Elden Ring out. Like it's really good. At the time, he had
No,
just
it's
got
okay,
his
Flip.
PC, so we weren't system link or anything. So I had to buy it for myself.
I'm just happy you didn't completely leave the channel, Flip.
So I bought Elden Ring and I played it. I started as a confessor. Got my ass absolutely handed to me.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Wretch.
That's not
Right?
lit. Not lit.
Got my ass absolutely handed to me. And yeah, Margit kind of crushed my spirits on my confessor build. And I didn't know anything about creating a build in Elden Ring until like I took the time to like learn it. Like I didn't know.
I know it's funny.
That's you, Colt. That's so typically you.
Like I didn't know anything about what stats would increase. Like obviously vigor, endurance, and magic, right? Those are the three main bars that you start off with. I understood that, but I didn't know nothing about faith, strength, dex, arcane. I didn't know nothing about that stuff. So it was like, you know what? I'm gonna start over. And as a wretch, you start over level 1, but all your base stats are at 10. So you can literally do whatever you want. So that's when I made Barnaby.
Barnaby Bubbles.
I created
Which his
Barnaby the
wife did
Wretch.
name.
Yep, my wife named him. I said, babe, I'm really not enjoying this game. She was editing some of my videos. Like if y'all go on my channel and you go back to like when I first started playing Elden Ring, she was editing some of them. Like she made the video Market the Asshole. But
Jade,
yeah.
you need to go watch a particular episode where Who Was His Wife, Mrs. Who Was His Clean. Oh man, it's laughter heaven.
But yeah, like she edited some of my first videos when I was playing Elden Ring, and she made the Market the Asshole video of me throwing my controller, throwing my headset, getting pissed off. And I also told her, you know, I'm gonna start over, and I want her to name the character. She named him Barnaby, and I named his last name was gonna be Bubbles.
Best name ever.
Yeah, and from there I made the wretch. I did a little bit of farming before I got back to Market.
Quick interruption. I need to go back and find that meme I made. You know the one where it spells out with someone with a katana that says it's Barnaby. Barnaby, who the fuck he knows Bubbles?
So yeah, man. I've loved them ever since. I got through Market, and I realized that Market is, like I said earlier, he's the brick wall of Elden Ring. It's like if you get past him, you can start to really enjoy the game. And I really started enjoying the game after I got past Market, and I've loved Souls games ever since. After Elden Ring, Noriega suggested that I try Bloodborne. Because Bloodborne is supposedly deemed one of the harder Souls games out there. So I was like, alright, I'll do it. He already had Bloodborne purchased, and we're system linked, so alright, I have Bloodborne for free. So I just started playing it, and that's when I fell in love with the Hunter Axe and strength.
Gale said he actually thought Soldier of Godric was the brick wall.
Soldier of God? Are you talking about the tutorial boss?
Apparently so, in the cave.
I'm sorry, Game and Earth Gale. I'm sorry. I wasn't that bad.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't. You know, when I fought like the Soldier of Godric, I didn't know how to use the flask yet. I couldn't figure out how to heal myself.
I saw that and I was hitting myself in the head, wondering what's wrong with you.
I couldn't figure out how to heal. I'm like walking around this dude, and I'm like, I don't know how to heal. How do I do this?
Oh no, it's all love, Game and Earth Gale. But
it's so funny how that tutorial boss is hilarious.
But yeah, that's how I got into it. I mean, like, I've played, you know, other games that are like really long. Like Skyrim is one of my favorite games, which is not too far from Elden Ring in my opinion. It's open world, and it does get pretty difficult later on in the game. But I just love Souls games ever since I've played Elden Ring. That's been my take on it. That's my take on it.
It's very nice.
I think my biggest thing now with Souls games is the fact that I'm a part of a community.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest take from it.
Because as toxic as the Souls community can get, it was the first time I experienced like millions of players constantly wanting to give you gear, come help you out, ready to give you advice, just wanting to see you succeed at the game that is hard.
Yep. Like, I met majority of my subscribers playing Souls game. I met my first moderator playing Bloodborne. And that was Blitz.
I knew you were subscribed to me before for something, but we did meet at Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, Blitz was my first moderator.
I
Like
don't
he
even know
helped
what
me out.
Ah,
He helped me out through Bloodborne. Um, I met
man. Hey, yo, where the crouch button at?
Yep, yep.
there is no crouch button. Got too used to Elden Ring. Crouch.
Yep,
There's no stealth in this.
yep. No stuff at all.
Yeah. That's why I guess Bloodborne is its own black sheep.
Yep.
Kind
But
of,
yeah,
yes.
that's my Souls game journey. I took a dabble in Demon Souls, but I felt it was a little too easy in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't recall you finishing it, actually.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Because Demon Souls, like, you can exploit a lot. Like, you can just throw an attack, dodge back, throw an attack, dodge. Like, it's fast enough for you to do that in Demon Souls. You can tank a lot of damage early on in the game.
Shield.
Yep, shield. I didn't really
I
like Demon Souls too much. I felt it was too easy.
I felt like it had the hardest start, but again, as I mentioned
Really?
before, yes, I think it has the hardest start of all the Souls games. Because I always struggle in the beginning. Without any
Yeah, but
experience, I struggle in the beginning. But
they also
unlike,
give you a lot of hints as to what you need to do.
well, it's I
Like
wasn't talking about like not knowing what to do. I'm talking about like having my skills as a player or the damage you take. I struggle hard in the beginning. However, unlike the other Souls games, you can level up in Demon Souls to the point where the rest of the game's difficulty is just nothing. It's whatever the game throws at you, you can either one two shot or just tank it, which you cannot do in Dark Souls 1 and upwards. You
right,
can,
dark.
but you'd have to beat the game first. In Demon Souls, as long as you can level up to level 100 or more, the game has nothing left to offer in terms of difficulty because that's what I did. I leveled up in the Storm Shrine. I died in body form on purpose and allowed myself to have the World in Black World tendency. And I kept killing that Reaper enemy, which kills a bunch of the enemy. Basically, I was just farming souls. That was just a souls from one enemy. I did this for 1 hour straight, and after that, every other one of the remaining 5 worlds was just a joke. You cannot do that. No matter what level you reach in Dark Souls, the enemy's damage and well, how they can fight will still counter you in a way. I'm just saying that.
Yep. But I'm gonna call it here. I appreciate you guys having me. I might stream
Oh,
Skyrim
no problem.
tomorrow, depending on how I
Nice.
feel. I think I might stream some more Skyrim tomorrow. You guys
Tomorrow's
are
my day
interested?
off, but I plan to do some cleaning.
Well, it
So
was good that you
I'm gonna
came
have it
on.
playing in
Who
the
else?
background.
Of course. Oh, you're dead.
He's
Again with the one
alive!
HP. Do you know the kind of struggle?
No!
We witnessed a
No!
miracle here.
No!
No,
No!
it's my luck. You know, you remember who else mentioned that I have a knack for surviving with 1 HP remaining?
No way!
Well, there
Oh
you
my.
have
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye.
That issue corrected itself.
That's it. That's it for him.
So, all right. So I guess I'm gonna give my turn next. Um,
I'm gonna leave your stream open so you get those view hours, my brother.
no problem, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Good
Take care,
night, who
man.
else?
And I asked Gail if he wants to join. You know, after who else? And I wanted to invite him at earlier, but I wasn't sure if he was in the hospital working. So, Gail, you can send an invite, or if you're on, let me send you an invite, because it might actually, if I accept this invite, it's gonna disband Jade. But he's also played Shadow of the ErdTree, and he's recorded a lot, so he can also give good input about it as well. But
And
I was mentioning in my journey to Soul games, you gotta understand, I did grow up on the poor side, so I didn't have access to playing games for a majority of my time. And by the time I did reach my teenagers, that's when I did gain access. About 15, 16 is when I started being able to play games seriously. All other than with my friends. But no, I think I... No, Gale, don't I have you already added? I think you're under a different name, but I think I already have you added. If not, then do let me send me your PSN ID. Let
you
me double
guys
check.
forget how old I am.
Oh, really? You're 37, right?
I'm 38.
Yeah, you are. Well, they're just technically a decade older because I'm getting 28 this year.
And the only reason why I got it in the first place is because my aunt at the time worked at Sears.
Uh-huh.
She got like the employee discount on it, so my mom was able to buy it for me my very first Nintendo with like Mario.
That's nice. Now, my my first console was the PS2 actually. I bought it secondhand from my cousin, and it came with two games. Onimusha and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Free.
Uh-huh.
Now, I have it from Budokai Free that carried over all the way till now.
Uh-huh.
We used to, like, you could equip a lot of stuff in Budokai Free. You could equip sensu beans, like, equipable items to use mid-fight with different effects. And you could also equip, like, your attacks, like your power, and, like, your Kamehameha and stuff. We thought that, since we like to play the game on hard and we want to challenge ourselves, we would unequip all the beans or the equipable items and unequip our power attacks and fight the difficulty through straight kung fu of the game. No special attacks at all. Now, come years later, I wasn't playing Soul Game. I started playing games on easy. Like God of War was on easy, except for one of them I played on hard. But I realized that after a while of playing so many games, I wasn't getting any satisfaction. There
Mm-hmm.
was a certain point where I was playing games. I had a PC. I could download so many games, especially old school games. But I wasn't feeling satisfied. I was getting bored. I knew I wanted to play games, but I just wasn't feeling good about it. And then my cousin told me, "Well, go play Dark Souls. It's hard. It's challenging." I was adamant. Why the hell would I torture myself by playing a hard game that's hard for the sake of being hard? What kind of loser does that shit? That was my first attitude. And then I was like, why would I do that? He's like, yeah, you play it. Come on, man. It'll be fun. And I'm like, no, I'm not playing that shit. Fast forward a month, I'm still bored, finally not getting satisfied with the games I'm playing. I decided to download Dark Souls 1. But to prove, how I can add you on PlayStation 0, I'm saying 0 because you type 0. Gale? Send me your PSN ID. Or mine, it's exactly the same thing, Cold 0, and then you can add me. You can send it here, or you can send it for me on Discord. If you want to keep it more private. I played in Dark Souls 1 to prove that I could play and beat a Dark Souls game without actually enjoying it. I don't know what the heavens was going on through my head. What kind of rebellious idea was that?
When was the release of Dark Souls 1? Let me see.
2010, I believe. Demon Souls was 2009.
2011.
2011? Okay, so I got
Let me see how old I was then.
So then,
So
after
I was 25 when the first Dark Souls released.
oh wow.
I was 25. Oh yeah, you know,
So I was 15.
I did
I was
play
around.
Dark Souls 1, but I returned that fucker.
Now here's
I
here's
was
the
like, I couldn't get past. Well, I got past the first boss, which is that disgusting thing in that church
yeah, the
thing.
asylum demon.
But the getting through all those skeletons and everything, and it kept dying, I was like, you know what, F this. I returned it and I got Castlevania instead.
So what happened to me was that I ended up getting past the first boss, and I made it to the second one. I beat him, but after that, it became very hard. And then I went on to jump straight into Dark Souls 2, which they said was a little easier. Fun fact though, they neither did I. The fun fact though, Dark Souls 2 in some ways is actually harder than Dark Souls 1. But it did take an approach where it gave you more options. You had more like they basically took from Dark Souls 2 to make Elden Ring. If you got stuck on one path, you had three other optional paths to go through in Dark Souls 2. After a while, I beat some bosses and I started to get it. It became like a natural thing where okay, so I'm gonna add Gale now. It became a natural thing where basically I started to enjoy myself, and I had to admit to my cousin, it felt good to see there was a challenge and I could overcome it myself. And then I was like, you know what, I think I'm liking this. I beat Dark Souls 2 first, and then I went back to play Dark Souls 1, and then I beat it, and I was like, God damn, I love this series. And I told my brother about it. He got Demon Souls for PS3 on his cousin's PS3, and I didn't have access to play it. Good night, Gale.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hey. Good morning. It's 3:06 already over here.
Oh my gosh.
It's 10 o'clock.
I know. Yeah, kind of like burning the midnight oil. Not for studying though.
That's
But
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But as I was saying now, I told my brother about it. My cousin and I, we competed against each other in Dark Souls to the point where we played Dark Souls 1 on PC with mouse and keyboard because we didn't have controller broken at the time. Then I told my brother about it. Now my brother, he has completely different playstyle from me. But we played it when Dark Souls re-released. We waited till all the DLCs came out till we
Yeah.
got Dark Souls 3. So we got it complete edition, everything one time. My Bloodborne, he bought Bloodborne, and I bought the DLC. Bought it half-half. By Sekiro, I pre-ordered Sekiro. By Elden Ring, he pre-ordered Elden Ring. I'm gonna be the one who pays for the DLC, hopefully next week. And I just felt like the games are hard, but there's a certain satisfaction in overcoming the challenge. And I actually thought about applying it to real life. Like, hey, the Dark Souls games are about challenging yourself, getting out of your comfort zone, and if you have to try and not give up, and you will eventually succeed. And that was my story of how I got into the Dark Souls games, and I must say, they are my favorite series to date. Definitely worth every money I've ever spent on them. So Gail, what about you then? How have you been finding Shadow of the ErdTree compared to what everybody's been saying?
Well,
Yeah, Gail.
no, it's been a fun ride, basically, and just like what just like what the three of you have been talking about, it is a lot more challenging. As I said on the chat earlier, when I finished the base game, my build back then was using the blasphemous sword, Taker's Flame, and then I tried starting the DLC using the bleed build, although with the twin swords, although I didn't have the other Godskin peeler. I would have needed to do us on a new game plus to get the second one, and then so it's something that I started doing from Bloodborne and Demon Souls. Like before I would record my videos or do a live stream, I would I use my save file to do a test run of the areas just to get the feel of it, and that's what I did with with Shadows. And I had to change to, as I said in the chat, I had to change to a Dark Moon Greatsword because I felt like okay, this is a little bit hard. I don't know if doing a bleed build is a bit viable for me. So just like what you guys pointed out, you can't be too rigid with just one build alone. You have to be a bit more flexible, find the build that works for you. And then once you start getting all these items, these new weapons, and then you'll be able to try to incorporate them, and then I can try to do that one with my mage build, or use my larval tiers to respec my stats, and then change it to whatever I want it to use. Strength build, combination of Dex Arcane, Strength Faith, all of that. All of those builds are out there since the base game. So yeah, the DLC did not disappoint. Graphics wise, and then ever since the base game I started to read the items, try to get the feel of the lore, because I wanted to know the backstory behind it all, even if it's just from reading the items, because I've learned a lot from watching those videos from Smotown and Vati, that you can get a lot of lore details from the items, not just from the NPC side quests and everything.
Some of the strategies you can try, you can learn the weaknesses or so from or weapons that can counter bosses from reading items as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. When I first played Elden Ring, I didn't know what I was getting into. Although I kept mentioning to you guys and some other people on YouTube that Elden Ring was my second Souls game. Jedi Order Fallen, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order being my first Souls-like game. Because I said before, the mechanics of that game that Star Wars game are similar to Elden Ring, and that prepared me to play Elden Ring. And then, as I said, when I started playing Elden Ring, I played the game a bit blind, like I didn't know what to do, and just like what Jade said, I just went out. I'm not ashamed to tell it to say that I used online guides and everything to so that I know where I'm gonna get at, so that if I do another playthrough, I know where to go. I think I remember one of my videos before, Sweet commented that he heard on the background I was playing a video from another streamer who was also doing these. It wasn't live; it was a pre-recorded video. Who was doing these, these walkthrough videos. So so yeah, and then but this
I can't deny, not to your degree, but I am guilty of watching the occasional walkthrough and was watching how people got through certain areas. I will admit that. I think we all do that at times.
Mm.
You know,
I definitely
you
do it when I'm stumped.
yes, you are eventually you are going to encounter something where you would either figure it out months later, or you can just watch one video, get past it, and play the rest for yourself.
Yes, yeah, that is true. But anyway, so yeah, since then, I mean, what would you say? I never regretted getting into the Souls genre because it made me rethink the way that I play. Um, Funnily enough, when I what was that? I think when I switched from Elden Ring to a different game, I forgot what it was. Like I was like, I had this kind of body memory or something. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. You know that your body is so used to how you would react in a Souls game, and then when you switch to a different game, it's like, whoa. um, I'm basically it's a really different and fun experience for me. Um, I had to agree with who else as well. About his comment on Demon
Pasquale says it's
Souls.
probably muscle memory,
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Muscle memory. Yeah, that's
but
the one. That's the term.
I don't think it's necessarily muscle memory. Well, not exactly. More like your gaming instinct, because muscle memory is usually remembering things you've already done. I think what you
Yeah,
might
I
mean to say
agree.
that when you play a Souls game and then you move on to another game, it doesn't
Mm,
feel as hard because your reflexes, your skills, they've been trained to a different level, so to speak.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, these Souls games are so stressful that any other regular game doesn't feel stressful at all. It feels like cozy gaming.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
That's true. Funnily enough, I started recording my first video of Life is Strange, and I was like, okay, from, I went from Boletaria to Yarnum to the lands between, and then all of a sudden I'm somewhere in some fictional state in the US trying to figure out how to use my powers to rewind time. It's like, okay,
That's like
like
a
cozy
storytelling
gaming.
game. You went from
I
hardcore gaming to storytelling. That is like, oh my god.
no no no
That's a
no no.
movie.
I've done it because why? Right? I
It's
had a
cozy.
phase. I had a phase where
Indeed it is.
I was fed up with Souls. Like I needed a break. So I went and played a Plague Tale. I went and played a Plague Tale, and it was really nice. It felt so different to play that. It's like how I
Mm,
mainly read like action manga, fighting type manga, but
mm.
once or twice a year, I pick up a freaking romance manga and read it to the full. It's like you need a break from what you're usually accustomed to every now and then.
Yeah, that is true. I need a break from all the dark environment. Not to mention that another dark environment that I got myself into would be Castle Dimitrescu,
Oh,
Resident
Resident
Evil
Evil.
Village. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I never got back to my horror channel this week or last
You
week.
never, you never did. I mean, I know you came out
I
with new
my last
videos for the
video for that
Easter
channel I released 8 days ago.
Oh, I need to check that video that you were talking about earlier, Jade, about that how to about the weapon switching in Bloodborne. Um,
How
because
to easily equip your weapon.
oh my
yeah,
goodness.
something like that.
I,
Otherwise, it might have been something that I may have done already, but I can't be too sure. Because what I usually do, what I did was just I unloaded the other weapons that I'm not using in the storage box, and then I just left probably 2 or 3 weapons that I think I may use in my inventory. I mean, it's not like the Bloodborne has like
It doesn't have
item weight
a.
mechanic like Demon Souls. No, it doesn't. but I just, just for ease of switch,
And
choose,
it's
scrolling
not
down
like
between weapons.
it's not like Bloodborne has many weapons to begin with anyway.
No, 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 it doesn't. So no.
FromSoft definitely they wanted more quality over quantity for Bloodborne.
Mm.
And now Elden Ring is just quantity, not necessarily quality.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Still,
I don't know. You can tell more people are playing Bloodborne because they are looking for how to. So, that's for sure. My old video, this video I made like almost a year ago, and now it's like popping off again because I guess people want to play Bloodborne.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know if I would call it weird or funny, because I mean, when I started playing Bloodborne as well, and then I remember another friend, another YouTuber friend of mine, Sierra. She saw me play the game, and then she got back into playing that. Yeah, and she's now learning. She's now started playing Elden Ring to make her way to the DLC. I mean, what I'm saying is that when I started playing Bloodborne, and then I'm seeing a lot of videos out there, it's like, and of other people playing the game, and I'm reading all these articles online, because of all the prominence these Souls games are making, and then they all went back to this one classic, Bloodborne, that they are hoping Sony and FromSoft would try to bend the rules a bit and then make something like a remake or a sequel or something that would make all the Bloodborne fans happy and all that. I mean,
they've been asking for a sequel since
for a long while, for a decade, I think, since 2014. Yeah.
I think back in between March and April, they had a return to Bloodborne where like I stopped my playthrough, and for like a few days I was only playing Bloodborne. Like everybody decided like we miss Bloodborne so much, where they were having an event where a lot of people were playing Bloodborne again just for the sake of playing Bloodborne. It's honestly Bloodborne just is like lightning in a bottle, I would say. They captured something amazing with it. The gameplay, the systems. This is amazing.
It is, yeah, it is very amazing.
The thing is, the mechanics are so different from Elden Ring.
Oh, in terms of mechanics, how many? I don't know if you guys have experienced, when after I played, because like for example, after I played Bloodborne and then I switched to Elden Ring, and then I would, because of muscle memory, I would end up pressing the what was that in Elden Ring? It's a square button for the flasks, isn't it?
But you would use your items instead of your healing.
Yeah, that one. I think in in Bloodborne, it's the square button is for the items. There you go. It's like, I think I made a few side comments on that in my first or second live stream on Shadows with the ErdTree, where there were like one or two instances I would like press the wrong button and I would like, oh no, Bloodborne.
I mean, at this point, I've been becoming well-rounded with the buttons, that's for sure. Because in Stellar Blade, like the attack buttons is literally square and triangle. So there's no trigger use.
Mm.
So which is so different from playing Souls, like you're using trigger.
I also had a bit of issue with the trigger use as well when I played the demo, because I'm just so accustomed of using R1, L1.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I got that same feeling too when I played the demo, and then it wasn't until I tried the demo for Enotria it felt more at home, because the trigger buttons were the L1, L2 ones.
Have a good night, Flip. Also, if you do check out my
Good night, Flip.
Last of Us playthrough, just on the remaining half of the playthrough has no commentary. I was just trying to get it done.
You really hated Last of Us. I haven't even finished that game. I
I
have
wouldn't
neglected my
say
channels.
I wouldn't say hate. The thing is, I like the story, I like the characters, but because gameplay is my number one, I did not enjoy the gameplay. So I think I would have enjoyed watching you play Last of Us more than me playing it myself, to be the case.
I pretty much breezed through. I've been breezing through it. I got through to Bill, and then I stopped playing because I don't know. I got into Stellar Blade, and then now Shadow of the ErdTree, and now I have to get back into Stellar Blade. And then I'm neglecting my Corpse Queen channel, which I've been playing Home Sweet Home, trying to finish that up.
At least I'm not the only one who's not who's got a backlog of games. I mean,
No,
I've got
because
Resident Evil and Life is Strange.
I missed a whole
I don't
week
know
to,
what is with Eastern Asian horror games, but they scare the shit out of me.
Oh, they
Gail, are
do.
you next to a
They
fan?
do.
I'm like
Uh,
Thai
what? Sorry?
folklore.
There's
Thai
like
folklore
kind of like
is
I hear wind
scary.
blowing on
It's
the
just as
mic.
scary as Japanese horror.
Um, I'm not so familiar with the other ones. I'm more familiar with the Japanese ones. You know, the Japanese versions of The Ring, One Missed Call, um, The Grudge. There you go.
Of
There's
course, the
this.
films, yeah, but I'm
Mm,
like, oh, the
mm.
games.
I
Here's
think
here's a bit. Oh yeah, there was a game, The Grudge. I saw that one, but I think it, from
games
what I read on
like
the reviews,
games like
it didn't
Fatal
latch on too
Frame,
quick.
Resident Evil Kuon, Siren. I think the Japanese and the Chinese they do horror so much better than Americans. I would say honestly.
I
Mm,
think because their lore is a lot more frightening.
yeah, it is. I
That
mean,
is one way to put it, but Americans have some fucked up shit in their horrors. But however, um, it's kind of like basically,
excuse me.
one's better at showing than telling than the other. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kind
Um,
of like with Japanese, they show you the horror, but your brain does a good job of scaring you. While with Americans, they just tell you about it, and you're like, okay, okay.
They really do make use of sound.
yeah, they do that to great effect, especially the Japanese horror films.
Oh yeah, like
Mm.
just the grudge itself, just listening to that woman go
Oh yeah,
I can't. No.
the death rattle. I
Oh
think it
my
sounded
goodness.
like
Yeah, I can't do it right now with
that
my
Oh,
one.
that
throat.
that shit scared the fuck out of me
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Speaking of which, what do you guys know about the Japanese grudge films?
I don't think I've watched them.
I watched them. They're actually a lot more scarier than the American version of it.
Which one did you, which movie did you first see, Jade?
I think I've watched the American version first, but then because I watch a lot of foreign films, that's when I was like, wait, this was an adaptation of a Japanese one. Let me watch the Japanese one. And then the Japanese one scared me more than the American one.
Mm. And I take it that the Japanese film you watched was the first film where there was like a social worker involved, right?
For the American one, I think
No,
that
no,
was it.
for the Japanese one.
Oh, the Japanese one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But did you know that there was a prequel story before that one? Did you guys know that?
No,
Is it the
no, I
one
did
with
not.
is it the one with the apartment?
Yes, that one with the apartment and the teacher and
Wait. You mean
the family itself.
where the where the I think it was the husband who killed the wife and child in the
Yes,
apartment, and then it started the
exactly.
curse?
That one exactly. They told it in like
I never
um
fully watched that movie because it freaked me the fuck out.
I
mm,
just don't like the fact that this is an apartment building with other people in it, and I'm like, there's all this going on. I'm like, no.
mm. And then I take it you guys were familiar with the spin-off versions, uh, White Ghost, Black Ghost. It's still
No,
The
I've
Grudge.
never heard of that
Those
actually.
two, those two. No,
No.
those the Grudge, White Ghost, Black Ghost are spin-off films. Fun fact: the setting
Uh,
of which one is it? Black Ghost, the house. No, not the house. Yeah, I think it was in Black Ghost. They used the same house setting. No, sorry, White Ghost actually. Oh yeah, no, I am correct. I had to read through it just to be sure. So the family, there was a family picture that was featured in Black Ghost, and the family picture, the people in that family picture were the people who were killed off in the curse in White Ghost. Not exactly like so, like they occurred in the same timeline, so to say.
Hmm.
Sorry, I know I got confusing there. But yeah, I mean, that's what makes the film so scary. They they did not like tell them like in a linear fashion. They told them in in portions. Like they skip to one story, they go back to another one, and then they move forward in time and all that. But yeah,
That's their way of storytelling.
indeed,
I think
yes.
I think the scariest movie I watched is definitely The Ring. The Ring was definitely the scariest I watched. Or the
I think
scariest,
Oh
it's
the
the
first
yes.
thing that
I
comes to
think it's
mind.
the anticipation buildup with that really gets you.
Yep, that one too. And one missed call as well.
What's One Miss called about?
Um, it's the Japanese version of that. It's called Shakushin Ari. Basically, it's a story about a cursed message tone, no, a ringtone. Basically, you get a phone. What happens is that a victim gets a voicemail 3 days in advance, and it's the voicemail is the sound of their own voice screaming before moments before they die. So they get that message like few days ahead of the date and of the exact date and time that the incident occurs, and then when that person is killed, some ghost dials a number from that person's phone book memory, dials the next person in line or something.
That
Yeah,
does that does sound
I think the
similar to The
American
Ring.
version they amped up that ghost a little bit more.
Oh,
Mm.
okay, okay.
But the Japanese version, I didn't watch the Japanese version one, but that looks freaky too.
Yeah, it was very freaky.
It's all
Okay.
freaky.
Speak, Speaking of which, moving forward, what do you guys think? I mean, you know, going back to, going back to the game, you think, because From Software is already riding high with the success of being Game of the Year back in 2022, and then now with the release of Shadow of the ErdTree, you think they're gonna be up for making another big Souls game in the future?
Probably not as massive as this one, but something definitely.
I think Miyazaki will most definitely and obviously scale back in his next game, but I don't know. He'll try to reinvent the wheel as he always does, because while similar, every Souls game is unique, and he's always made it a point. Like the reason why Sekiro didn't get a Part 2 or DLC, because he didn't think it needed it. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like to try to always remake the same game because according to him, when you do like Activision and Ubisoft and you make the same game over and over because it's successful, That's when you get like, as an artist, a writer, or content creator. That's where you reach a block where you lose your creativity, and your company will eventually go bankrupt because you can't make anything new. You can't keep the wheel turning anymore.
Mm. Yeah, that is true as well.
This
You
is
know, they
why
probably.
this is why I never got angry when they finished Dark Souls 3 as the Dark Souls 3 series. They said they didn't really want to make a
Mhm.
Dark Souls 2. They finished, as you know, Bloodborne and Sekiro where they are, and now we've only getting only one DLC for Elden Ring, and then he's done with it.
Yeah, I heard this is it. This is a juggernaut for Elden Ring series, and that's it.
Yeah, to his perspective, like trying to keep making more Elden Rings to keep the hype up would make him go creatively bankrupt as a game designer. He says when them it leads to stagnation. So I plus after the success of Elden Ring, I think they might do more smaller scale projects because after after Bloodborne was Dark Souls 3. After Dark Souls 3, which was very big, was Sekiro. After Sekiro was Elden Ring.
Mhm.
So I think they'll keep alternating and trying different ideas and different stuff. And after Elden Ring was Armored Core. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And also, I really want to play Armored Core really badly. Hopefully, I get it this year.
It doesn't seem like my type of game, though. I
I
think I'm gonna stick to the genres that I like for Souls-like.
well, to be exact,
Mhm.
I hated mechs since I just like mechs because they weren't organic. I liked seeing characters in series or games I play who train, get stronger. You know, they're living beings. I never liked robots for that. But the gameplay in which I'm gameplay focused in Armored Core, it has me thinking I want to give it a try. I definitely want to give it a spin.
Mm. You should, you should give it, yeah, you should give it a go. I mean, when they first released the trailer of the game, I was like, wow, I must have been born from another universe because I did not know that there was an Armored Core franchise. Not to mention the trailer they released was
Yeah,
already the
it
sixth in the long line of
predates
main titles.
Armored Core predates Miyazaki. People
It
seem
did, yeah.
people seem to forget that FromSoft has other games that are Dark Souls. People seem to forget that.
Yeah, I think I read about um, Kingsfield and then the first Demon Souls, not the remake one, the first Demon Souls that they made after Kingsfield, and then they considered the latter game to be the spiritual successor to Kingsfield. Um,
Yeah, kind of. Oh my goodness, I
mhm.
actually fell for that shit. Um,
Okay, so Flintlock.
Echo
Souls
Knight.
light action RPG.
Echo Knight is another game that is a horror game that they originally made. That is really good. I think the
Is it a From
story.
Software game?
Yes, it's a From Software game.
Okay.
It was an old school horror game they used to make. Like different. How should I put it? There's always a character called Richard Osman, but they are completely different from each other. There is no actual connection. They never confirmed to say it's a parallel universe. They just use the same character or same name, but different settings, different stories. And I found like when I watched the stories explained, the stories in these games were really awesome. I don't know. You might wanna check them out after when you all have some free time.
Yeah, I might watch a video of that one. Um, I do tend to read about these games, and because I like to find out details about whatever that piques my interest, be it like movies or characters or games or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even even my wife would comment sometimes, like, um, she would comment to her friends that I tend to know a bit more because whenever I watch something and then I would like go ahead and read something about it, and then I would ask, and then they would ask me, and I would tell them, oh, because I read it like this and this and this and that and that, you know. So yeah, a bit of a bookworm geek.
Oh my goodness. So, getting back to the topic we started with on difficulty,
Mm.
what is the hardest game? Is Elden Ring the hardest game y'all ever played? Like, not Elden Ring.
Um,
Is From
No,
Software the hardest game you've ever played? But do you
no.
feel that there are other games that the difficulty you would rather play a FromSoft game?
um, I mean, I guess you could say you know, choosy with what I want to play. Funnily enough, I'm trying to remember what drew me to Elden Ring. I don't know if it was because they got George R. R. Martin involved, just because there was, a famous name from Lord of the Rings who got involved, or maybe because I saw the trailer and was like, I think I'll try that one. Um, I think to answer your question in terms of what was the most difficult game for me, the most one I think I would rank. It's a bit hard actually. Um, Elden Ring would be my difficult one.
Why does
Bloodborne
everyone say
second.
it?
I'm thinking she was kind of hoping I would say something else, being
I
the first.
know she's gonna say something else. There's something else that frustrated her
No,
more
no.
than Elden Ring.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, I would probably put both Elden Ring and Bloodborne up top as the most difficult of From Software games I played, if I don't count
No,
Armored Core.
no, I wasn't
And I will agree.
specifically speaking about only FromSoft. I'm talking about
Mm.
gaming in general.
Oh, gaming in general, like
Yes,
difficulty. Uh,
yes.
um, I'd say the Souls games were the most difficult ones I played so far. I mean, with other games I could just breeze through, easy. With some difficulty, not easy, but with Souls games, like, with Souls games and Souls-like games, like, I tried the demos for Enoctria, Lies of P. My first Souls-like game was Star Wars Jedi, and then my proper Souls games was these three games that I put up on YouTube that are From Software games: Elden Ring, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne. Because like for example, with say for example with it's a different because it's a different kind of mechanic with Souls games. With other games, it's like you're being fed the story at the same time. You're getting a lot of details about and backstories about what's going on in the game. With Souls games, um, with Souls games, you have to be diligent enough to, find out what is going on in that universe. And it wasn't until I watched YouTube videos I learned, okay, so some of the backstories are not only contained with dialogues from the NPC or tidbits that came from the trailers, they're from the item descriptions as well. And I started like reading through them from Demon Souls and then Bloodborne and then this time in Shadow. So yeah, and then boss fights in Souls games is nothing like, I mean, it's nothing like trying to defeat Liquid Snake or Mario trying to stomp on King Koopa and all that. I mean, it's just like it's kind of like what that It's kind of like what that comment that I read about said, raising blood pressure since 2022.
I think that's the thing about all of this. It's just the fact there's no easy mode button for games like this. You have to play the game, die,
you just
and
have to
create a
overcome
build.
Yes.
So Jade, what is
And-
your hardest game that you've ever played?
Sekiro. I have never
okay.
I have never quit a game my entire life, but I quit Sekiro.
Oh my goodness.
I quit Sekiro.
Okay.
I need to try that really out for myself to see how far I can
And
go with that game.
when it comes to horror games,
Ah.
it's The Evil Within.
Yeah, the Evil Within is pretty hard.
And it's not the boss that everyone thinks of. It is Spider Lady Laura. She is the kryptonite. I run and I scream like hell.
Laura was hard until I understood the mechanics of the game. When I properly understood the mechanics and learned how to exploit it, Laura went down pretty easy.
Well, of course, you know the beginning area, but also you have to do her again, and
I did.
You have to be like a good aim, and I wasn't a good aim then. I was not a good aim.
I've always said my accuracy sucks, so I guess I know how you feel to some degree.
I'm like, of course over time my life and my aim has gotten a little bit better in games, but shit, back then I was like, no! I didn't beat the first Evil Within until 2 years. It took me 2 years to beat that game.
Wow.
Oh damn.
Because I kept on like, no, fuck this shit, I'm not playing it anymore. And then I would start playing it again a year later.
Would you guys believe that
Oh
I've
my goodness.
got my the part 2 of that game, Evil Within, and I've not yet removed the wrapping from it since I got the PS4.
I did buy it on sale, but I've never beaten the first one, so I never went to the Evil Within 2.
The second one is not that bad. The second one was good. It was pretty decent. They made it more open world a little bit. And it's not that bad. The first one was bad. Second one, not so bad. It's still scary as hell, but it's not so bad.
I don't know. I worked out pretty early that the horror within the Evil Within was inside your mind. And because of that, it was hard for me to ever get scared of it.
Dude, I immerse myself in games. This is why I'm having trouble with Home Sweet Home.
Well, no, I can immerse myself
I
in the
don't
game.
like being chased by an obsessive, possessive woman with a box cutter.
Yeah, boy.
I'm like, she stabs me to death every time. And I'm like, why are you this crazy?
Stabs you. She always, like, uses her bare palms to crush my face in.
No, that's Spider Lady Laura. I'm talking about Home Sweet Home.
Oh, honestly, okay.
And I thought I had it bad with that.
I know about Spider Lady Laura. She cracks your noggin right open.
Yep.
And I thought I had it bad when 10-foot 10-foot white lady vampire started chasing me around her castle.
No, that's just too sexy right there. Nope. I can't. I'm like, okay, you can kill me, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you got Spider
is,
Lady
though,
Laura, and you got a box cutter lady coming after you who is obsessive, nope.
Oh my god.
I'm like, okay.
Lady Dimitrescu really was a fan favorite.
Of course, even Markiplier made, like, it just was so into that.
Yes, he did.
It's like,
I've only played the demo of Resident Evil 8.
it's a good game, and I got the Shadows of Rose for that. It was good too.
Yeah, it is a very good game. Yeah. I was at in when I did that live stream a few weeks ago. It was on the highest difficulty that it offered, the Village of Shadows, and because
Uh,
I played the game on casual and standard um, 4 times, I managed to max out most of my weapons. So playing, I mean, I still died, but I kind of trivialized the the Village of Shadows difficulty because I've got this maxed out. I've got most of my weapons maxed out, upgraded and everything.
the same way, because of Jade showing you how to farm, you weren't struggling in Bloodborne like I thought you would.
Oh yeah, that one, that one,
So I was like,
yeah,
how
that
in
one
the
too.
heavens was he surviving that shit? And then
That
you
one,
explained it, then you reminded me.
I don't
yeah.
remember what farm spot.
Oh, that that dungeon in
Cole's following
Bloodborne.
up with the PT Let's Play.
There was a dungeon? Oh my
Yeah,
god, I forgot. I
the
forgot.
Chalice
Oh,
dungeon.
oh my god, yes. Now I
The Chalice
remember.
dungeon.
It, you
There
see?
you go.
It split from my brain right there. This is how far in the shadow of the ErdTree I'm in right now. I'm like, what dungeon
Mm.
in Bloodborne? I'm like,
Oh
oh.
my goodness.
Speaking of which, I think my most annoying boss in that game would have been the Themerian Descendant. Yeah, that for an old geezer, he can move fast with a twin sickle on his hands.
I would say the Blood-Living Beast was a serious pain. Like
I don't want.
with
I
Jada
just
who
don't.
else? With Jada who else? It was fun. But on my own, oh my goodness, that boss fight is a pain. The queen wasn't so bad, honestly.
I've seen videos of that game, The
I
Quarry.
can't believe you and me, Cold, we beat that dude in the dungeon. Like that.
The quarry I'm actually interested in playing. It'll be my second story-driven game, a decision-making game, besides what was his name again? Heavy Rain, which I have really enjoyed.
I'll play Life is Strange when they release that other one. What was it? Exposure?
Double
What was it?
double exposure. Yeah,
Because
it's considered a direct
that
sequel to the first game.
yeah, that was like saying that that's like Max Caulfield continuing
It
her
is.
journey.
Yep.
I'm like, I'll play when that happens because I played Life is Strange to True Colors on my own, and I was a bit annoyed with it. So I'm kind of wondering
Were
if
you?
the original game, like the original
I hear
Life is Strange, is better.
I hear Life is Strange
I was
1 is
annoyed
better.
with it. I was annoyed with True Colors for some reason. It had good music in it. It seemed pretty chilled, but I was annoyed with it.
I guess I'll find out when I get to play it at some point soon.
I don't know. It's like an acquired taste playing Life is Strange. I guess the Max Caulfield one is a lot more intriguing. The
Oh,
story.
that is interesting. I did not know that was possible.
I mean, she has the most interesting power from what I reckon, that she just like rewinds time like that.
Yeah, she does. She can do that. Yeah.
The one in True Colors, all she has is like, you know, high empathy, and it shows in colors people's emotions, and then she can read from that.
I've read a book. I've actually read a book on an app that where a kid could read people's emotions by because they would show up in colors. I think it can make an interesting concept for a story if done right.
I mean, there's only so much you can do with that, though. But you know, it's like one of those wholesome stories, really, where, you know, it's not like the first one where you're dealing with like a murderer. There's like a serial killer.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, serial killer.
Loretta,
Well, I won't spoil. Halo, you haven't played it, right?
Play what?
which one?
Life is Strange one.
Um, I'm still in chapter 1, so
Okay, so
I mean,
I will.
I barely begun the game, so yeah, because I'm still planning to record it at some, play and record it at some point, so yeah.
Okay, I won't mention about
Nah, that's cool, that's cool.
the. Okay.
Yeah, I'll play it when Double Exposure comes out, and that way I can just transition into that game and not have to wait. I do that with series all the time. I can't watch it upon release. I have to
Really?
wait until a good portion of episodes release, and then I'll binge it. Because I know if it's a good show, I'm gonna want to binge that.
I guess you're right. I kind of did feel that way about a house. Luckily for me, it's already come out in full.
My God, mainstream media would not make any money off of me. I'm like, no, you gotta release all that at once. This is just how I work. I'll binge that sucker. It's like me reading books. Like, I can absorb a book within hours
Uh,
and everything. And if it's a long book, I'll read it all the way to the end, no matter how long it takes.
I felt that way about Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives and Mistborn. Those are two series that I thoroughly enjoyed, particularly Mistborn. They're really nice. I like the magic systems in them. The concept of like the characters had to consume metals, but depending on the metal they consumed, they gained a different power. And there were a lot of rules and like how was I put it? Like we could have steel and iron, which lets you push and pull on other metals. But the fact that I'm a guy and Jade's a girl, if the fact that I have more weight to my body, if I was bigger, would also factor into our power and a bunch of different stuff. It was interesting. Or like if two people pushed on the metal at the same time, they would push back against a person with more weight. An interesting concept. So
Loretta is really like, yeah.
I honestly under leveled of Loretta is just really difficult. When I leveled up Bloodhound
Yeah,
strong enough, I just breezed through her.
What level is your Bloodhounds fan?
I don't think I have it on the save.
Oh,
But
okay.
like, look how aggressive she is. Where do I get to attack? See, this is where
I think you're a little under-leveled for her. Ish. Maybe.
now you see this is the issue I have with the game.
Yeah.
Right here. My level should determine how fast I die. The fact of the matter is, she's just so aggressive. It's difficult to even get a chance to attack. See how much
Yeah,
really I have to do?
because I guess that's what the whole AI fighting is.
Did they make the bosses in the base game a bit more aggressive now that the DLC is out, or
I don't
just
think anything has.
the difficulty level is
No.
just the same?
It's the same.
Yeah.
I think the update was only for
Yeah, it was-
mainly for the DLC.
Cold is just
For the
under-leveled.
DLC, yeah.
Cold is being ambitious.
See,
We do tend
I tried to go for
we do
two
like
hits,
to
and I won
challenge
actually, it
ourselves.
cost me a lot.
I'm like, this is his new profile.
This is where I see I
He
like
fell
Elden
off
Ring.
too many cliffs at once.
I think Elden
I'm a
Ring
victim of
bosses are
cliff
too
falling.
aggressive.
I'm a cat. In the dang game, I'm a cat. Except when the
what is
rat
it?
pushed me
Coward?
off the beams. And I didn't even die from the fall.
Oh my goodness.
I think I remember falling off from falling down inside a dungeon because I didn't. There's this two cliffs that are very close. You can just literally jump over them, and then for some
Caleb?
reason I didn't jump.
Oh,
I fell down into the abyss. That was in
yeah.
the Ballarat dungeon.
I know.
Oh,
You couldn't
oh,
just
okay. The
rush
one I do
it
know.
because
I
they
know.
were like gaps.
Yeah, that's true. And then there
You
were
couldn't
these
just run that.
jars that trying to jump on me
Oh, the guys in the sludges that
in
grab
the
out.
jars.
They
Yeah,
their attack is that the arm comes out of their belly and grabs you.
yeah, that one. Yeah,
Oh, you're talking about
the
America's
DLC.
America's people, the shaman.
Yeah, it's funny, but I apparently
That
they're
was
bit weird.
that was an
There's some
interesting bit of
weird
lore.
characters in this game now.
I know. It got me thinking. I mean, seriously, M- America is kind of messed up in a
No,
way.
she is batshit crazy.
Okay, okay. For Gale, how do you suppose she messed up?
I mean,
Did you see that other passageway?
what passageway?
He was going up the elevator and I
Yeah,
saw another.
I already passed that
Oh,
way before.
no, I didn't notice that one. So,
Yeah, when you take an
sorry.
elevator, there's a secret entrance. You can roll off the elevator before you reach the top and pass through.
Uh, anyway, no, to answer your question, Zero. How messed up is America, in my opinion? I mean, from what I've learned, why would she go and why would she be not contented enough with, the current status quo that would lead her to break the Elden Ring and then cause all of this events that's going on up until the point that we started the base game. And then here, initially we thought that, you know,
Oh,
it was only Mikola and Melania, and then now we have Mesmer. It was like, what the heck? And then I was reading some of the item descriptions. I was like, what? So, like, America ordered Mesmer to kill some people, kill some folks and all that. It's kind of like
oh no, she didn't.
it's
She
kind of like the
didn't.
all-knowing. Apparently, the all-knowing sending one of his lackeys to wipe out the Albinorix. It's like, seriously, there's some messed up white people. Not white. There's some messed up characters in the game. Like, um, I'm just glad when I remembered my boss fight with
Well, she
the
didn't send.
all-knowing.
She
I
didn't
whacked
send.
him real good.
She didn't send
Well,
Mesmer.
technically, we all learned that Marika is actually Radicon and Radicon is Marika. They're both the
Yeah,
same
that one.
person.
And Saint Trina is
Mm,
Nicola Saint Trina.
yes.
But she didn't send Mesmer to fight the Warzone. She sent him to commit genocide on all the Warzone. Every single last one of them.
Was
Mikola the Kind. I'm like, no, they're not Mikola the Kind. She is batshit crazy.
Although in the DLC,
She is mean
Anyway,
as hell.
I can understand and sympathize with
She's
America
mean with a kind looking face.
on her campaign to genocide all the
wolf in
Orcs
sheep's
at
clothing.
170.
Oh yeah, 100%. Those are the girls you gotta look out for.
Well, Nicholas just
Wolf in
went
sheep's
out.
clothing.
They have blonde hair and a pretty face. Like, I'm kidding.
He's
Oh boy.
separating himself from Saint Trina, his female
I'm
half.
kidding. But definitely in this game, that is the case.
Yeah, and then I bet when I go deeper into the game and then I continue reading all these all the lore in the item description, so I'll be thinking along the lines like, what the heck was she
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
thinking?
Have you found the village yet?
What village?
No, no, not yet.
Okay,
Um, as
no.
of as of my recording, I killed
There's
off
a
a red
peaceful,
bear.
colorful little village with a little
I
bird
killed off
tree
a.
growing. When you find that, you will start to understand Naruto better.
Yeah, I hope I'll get to that soon. As of my last recording, I killed off a red bear and a second ghost flame dragon. That's the part where I mentioned earlier that I let the mesmer soldiers pick him off for a bit because I died like 3 times. I was like, this is not working, and then the dragon is fighting the soldiers. I'm gonna let them duke it out first before I butt in,
Yeah, I tried doing that.
and it worked
Yeah, it
with
does work.
with
I
with some
remember I
difficulty.
remember reading that and I was like, yep, that's exactly something Jade would do.
I've
But
only
it's smarter
killed
than
one
harder.
ghost flame dragon in the game, and then I think I've demolished all the fire golems.
There's a
I've
dragon
done
though.
I've done 2 of each so far.
There's a
The
dragon I've
ghost flame
seen
dragon
that's really interesting.
and the furnace column.
Let's see.
Definitely you want to go for the fire golems because they have the correct tiers.
Mm,
They're
yeah.
actually not that hard.
No, they're not. I mean, they just look intimidating because they're as big as the fire giant, but I mean, you know. And then I kind of figured, okay, we'll just keep walking at their ankles, and then they're gonna fall down. That's it.
Yeah. You can't roll though. You have to jump.
Mm.
The fire?
And so far, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm still probably in the first 5-10% of portion of the game. And as I said earlier, I'm using the Dark Moon's Great Sword, and it's carrying me through so far. But I know eventually I'll be changing my build. I've already got like something in mind because I got this Black Hammer thing. I might try
Well,
going back to my strength build, but nothing's for sure yet.
here's something that I thought of.
Yeah, so you can hold off as long as possible. I mean,
Yeah,
Everybody says change your build, right? But if the weapon works and you power it up, do you really need to change your build?
probably not. I mean, I was also thinking along the lines of
I hardly change my build.
I want to see I want to see how I do if I finish the game with just my current build. I was thinking about I'm still thinking about that. You
I
know, I might consider
just
still doing that.
I just level up the stat
the
required to
faith,
use the weapon, and that's it.
using some of the faith stuff is OP.
Oh my
That's why I ended up moving into faith and arcane more.
Hmm.
Because some of the spells I was finding were pretty dang good. The incantations.
Oh, so you're not an atheist.
Oh. Well,
Oh, that's
my
funny.
builds of intelligence and faith build at the moment.
I
But yeah.
still have stuff in intelligence for sure, but I really just started putting it into faith,
Hmm.
arcane, and then I'm gonna decide later if I want to crank it more
Arcane.
into one or the other.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm trying to farm this weapon, so I put Arcane at 99.
Cause
We'll
I'm at a
see.
level 250, so
Really, I'm not too
I'm at
far off.
198 at the moment,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I'm leveling up my endurance again. Just want to try to hit it at 40.
I have to. I had to put into endurance to put on heavier armor.
That one too.
Because I was finding some heavier armor to put on. I kind of need it. I was getting whacked too much.
So wait a minute. The ErdTree blessing, right?
Yeah.
They bring up the rest of your stats. But when you use the ErdTree blessings, so you get a flat damage increase, defense increase, they wouldn't bring up, let's say, your endurance or your vigor while you're in the land of shadows.
No.
No, no. It's just
Okay.
You know, with
Attack and defense.
attack and defense with the Shadow Tree, and then the for the Revered Ashes, just for the Spirit Ashes, and they
Yeah.
only work with the DLC, not in the base game.
So if you only have 5 in strength and you need 10 to use a weapon, no matter how many blessings you use, you still have to go and level it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people said recommend it. You want to enter the DLC at least a 150.
And then some would also recommend like start hunting for the Shadow Tree blessings and the Revered Ash blessings too, if you're able. But that would involve having to go to those map steles and then opening up the entire
Map.
map just to find where they are. If you're using a guide or something.
Because typically what I try to do is I try to explore as much as possible so that
Oh wow, you guys are still alive. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here.
We're enjoying ourselves. Plus, it's been a while since we did this, honestly.
Oh well, I'm back.
Oh, there you
welcome back,
go.
man.
Join the conversation. Who else? It's a good conversation. We're talking about Shadow Tree fragments again.
I would go section by section of the map, try to scour as much as possible until I know for a fact that I have nowhere else to go than the boss that's supposed to be in front of me.
Some
That's exactly
areas
what
you
I'm
do
doing.
have to beat a boss to gain access to, but you can access quite a bit of the map without fighting a boss.
Yeah, because I've
But
heard people talk about a area like
That's a
Castle
true joy of the
Oasis.
game, in my
Indeed,
opinion.
indeed.
I don't,
You know,
many
back in the
people
base
don't
game.
actually explore. They don't like to explore, as Jade said. They just want to run straight for the boss, though.
In the base game, those when you open up your maps and then you get to put all those markers, right?
Yeah.
How many of you have used them in the base game?
I have the first time I played Elden Ring, I did.
I never used them.
No, I did because
Yeah,
why?
like-
I remember when Elden Ring first came out, there was no NPC markers. If you found an NPC or something interesting in an area, you had to mark it yourself, or go look it up again if you can't remember. It wasn't until an update after that important NPCs would be marked on the map.
Yeah, the moment you find them, they'll show up.
Right.
Yeah, I started using that mechanic in the
Like
DLC.
for instance, you know how at a certain point after the stars fall, after you beat Verdun, right?
I haven't used it yet for the DLC.
After you beat Verdun, the stars fall. Nokron is marked red on your map. Well, in the original release of Elden Ring, it is never marked. You have to find that shit on your own by re-exploring Limgrave, or you will never know. Literally.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Well, that
shit is not marked.
You
gotta look for the floating rocks.
That was the time
when
the fans complained that the game had an issue, and they fixed it, and I think it was the right choice to this update where they fixed it.
So they patched it.
Yeah, there was no marker telling you where Nokron is.
I see.
I only knew about Nokron because I like to go and retread old areas in every game I played. But trust me, if I was one of those players where, I've been to Limgrave already, and there's nothing I want to do there, I would never know where to go next.
Even when you see the whole cutscene of the freaking comet.
It never occurred to me. Remember,
Same here.
Elden Ring is the first of its kind. There's nothing like this in any of the Souls games. Nothing.
This is what happens when you collaborate with George R.R. Martin. You get shit like this.
Like, I went back to Limgrave. I seen floating rocks. I'm like, what the hell is this?
The game is just as massive as his books.
and I was streaming it at the time, and somebody was like, "You have to go down there," and I'm like, "Go down where? It's a bottomless pit."
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, that is true. At first glance, you would think to yourself, who wants to go
Right,
down in a bottomless pit?
right.
Especially in a game where every little thing kills you. Your first instinct is to not go towards danger.
That is your first instinct right there. Don't drop in the bottomless pit.
Speaking of bottomless pits, I just came across a dungeon in a DLC where there was an Indiana Jones Last Crusade moment where it says, "Be afraid, be brave, do not be," and then it's a dungeon, and then when I jumped, I thought I was gonna die, and then it actually led me straight to a boss fight.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
I've seen that one
That's like
actually.
it's like in Bloodborne where you have to jump off that ledge to fight Rom.
Rum, yes, the
Wait,
vacuous
you
spider.
you you spot that Producient Knight thingy?
Hmm?
That's the one that dropped that you're talking about?
What was that? No, I think what was that boss that dungeon boss that I fought? I think it was the no,
Oh, oh my
not the
God,
ancient dragon man. No, it was I forgot who it was.
this
I
bread
think
pudding
it
is
may have
so
been that
good.
one.
Hold up, I'm going through my videos. I did that sucker, I think.
That boss you fought, dude, was
What
very
I think it's
cool.
called the Protrucent Knight. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I
It
think.
it it
I,
looked like a variation of Goss, like it's holding an arch thingy and slamming you with it,
yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah.
riding on a horse.
Hold, are you farming
Oh no, no,
salamander
no, not
blades?
no, no,
Huh?
not riding on a horse. No,
Yes.
Oh, then it's not that one.
I heard there's
no, no,
like a
it's not that one.
1% drop rate. I haven't gone with
Oh
it.
my
I just
god, that
got
means
into
I have to go
yesterday.
find that boss. I'm pretty sure I'm missing quite a few side bosses,
There was
optional
one boss
bosses.
in particular I saw that I'm excited to fight. The actual Lord of Frenzy Flame.
I didn't know that one existed until I saw videos of it.
Yeah, neither did I.
I listened to the boss music and I admit it. I haven't given a fuck about any of the boss music in Elden Ring till now.
I'm like, I defeated the Mother of Fingers, and I'm like, I don't ever want to fight that boss ever again.
Uh,
It gave me nightmares for life.
That boss, okay. Well, for Gale, since he's interested in the lore and the story, there's a big implication about the base game, the entire game, when you reach that boss.
oh, I can't wait.
You'll definitely like it. I've gotten
Oh,
I bet
three
I
of the
will.
shields from this enemy, but they've never dropped their blade. Wow.
Mm.
that's crazy. The first one I killed, I got the salamander
Oh,
blade. When I
well,
first came to Volcano Manor.
Stop
that
talking.
magma
Stop
blade.
talking.
Oh goodness, I tried farming those lizards for those weapons. I could never get them.
At the
Not
time, I
even
was
with.
doing a bleed build, so my arcane was high.
Bro, I put Arcane on 99. Watch my listen. You see my stats?
Hold
I
on, I have a delay.
respect.
You guys really put some dimes into those arcane leveling.
Yeah, because Arcane increases your item discovery, so how often items drop for you.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Mm.
So what happened with that? I
You have the
started doing that.
you have the armor pieces that increase your arcane
Yes, the
or item discovery.
silver tier mask, as
Yeah,
well
you do.
as
Yeah.
the silver tier scarab. Bro, I have
Hmm.
270 something item discovery, and they still can't drop that blade.
The Magna Blade.
Yes, I
Yep.
want it because I've never.
There's a Magma wherein you can fight for it.
No, he's talking about the I think it's a salamander blade or something like that.
Yeah. Neat.
Basically,
Did
Let me
neat.
see.
the blade that's made out of magma, it's in their hand.
Yeah.
But only
And then
these two drop
the
it, and they have a 1% chance of dropping it.
yeah, even with the silver that silver talisman thing that allows you to increase your chances of item discovery,
I
and also with the silver pickle foul foot, I think it was
I
also
don't
the
have the
consumable
silver
one.
pickled outfit though.
Yeah, there's a magma blade, and then there's a magma worm scale sword.
I think it's the
No,
former.
it's a. Wait, is it a?
I think it's a magma blade. In videos, you'd see that being incorporated into what they would call a Kratos build.
Yes, when they try to copy Kratos and do the Blades of Chaos, they use
Yeah,
the
the Blades
Magma
of Chaos.
blades, yeah. And the weapon art spits lava on the floor that stays and does damage over time.
A
It's a pretty.
orange glowing magma blade at Volcano Manor.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think TJ's sleeping. I texted him. Yeah,
It's pretty good. But
wake him up.
I like to
You want to
collect
wake
at
him
least
up?
one or
11
two
o'clock.
of every weapon in the game.
Huh?
This thing I do
Two of
is
the serpents can be easily accessed by going up the wooden elevator outside the
yeah, I'm
building
here
to the
already.
North Temple.
He's here already. He's there
Tell
already.
me something I don't know, Jay.
No, I'm just reading from whatever the location of it
Oh,
is.
you read out loud.
Yeah.
You don't get it. It's a drop. Try and look up the drop rate of the weapon. Let me
It's
see what you find.
1% at 100 item discovery.
Mm.
So you
So
got a
how's that,
whopping
but
2%.
yep.
Well, 2.77%.
I've seen people talk about they were like 300 kills and it still hasn't dropped for them. And one person said they killed them each one and each one dropped one. It's crazy, bro.
I guess you're not lucky with this one.
Mm. I'm just glad that they didn't incorporate that as part of a platinum trophy requirement thing.
No, Elden Ring trophies are. Elden Ring I think has the easiest trophies out of all the Souls games to get. I can say that for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it
I don't
does.
I don't have the patience for Elden Ring's platinum.
It's not that hard.
It's not hard, I just don't feel like searching for all those dang weapons.
Come to think of it,
Wake him up. See if you want to play.
Gail, have you thought about what I told you about the other video?
Remind me again?
Where, like, okay, like you do no commentary playthroughs, right?
Yes.
So I was telling you, like,
And then I would like give my like a review or something.
yeah, your thoughts and feelings about the game or anything else you want to say at the end of this series.
Yeah. No, I've thought about it. Speaking of which, I might actually think to redo the last video that I did with Bloodborne,
I have
because I
4
mean, I
shields
already
and no
I already
magma
did
blade.
the
He has it already.
Demon Soul, so yeah. Because I've already uploaded it, but
Oh,
I mean, I can always re-upload it and then just add my voice in it to do like an in-game review. So yeah, try to yeah. That is a very good suggestion, Zero. I'm gonna try to like incorporate it in something.
And
Hey
I
guys,
remember a time I. What were you gonna say?
um, no, I was just gonna say, I'm gonna stop right here now. I need to do some shut
Sleep.
eye. Yeah.
What is it, like 4 or 5 a.m. over there now?
4:22 to be exact.
11. Yeah, it's 11:22 for me.
I know. I
I
had to
was
stay up because
gonna.
I had to wait for this video to finish rendering before I slept. So yeah.
That's
Oh
some
gosh,
dedication there.
Well,
I
I
was
mean, not really,
honestly.
because I was watching season 2 of One Punch Man for probably a good 1 or 2 hours before I decided to start playing. By then, I think it was already like at 11 p.m.
One Punch Man is great. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's a good anime.
It's very funny.
It is a good anime, so yeah.
Yeah, I only
Anyway,
just remembered. I wanted to talk to you about um content creation and such because So like the people who watch my videos or subscribe to me, I do check them out and check out their channels. And I realize like when you were at like 3 something subscribers, you already had like over 1,400 videos uploaded on your channel. Like, you run a lot. And then now, like every now and then, I do check out your channel, and I realize like since I don't know if it's Metal Gear Solid or since then, you've been growing at a really nice rate, man. And I think you found I don't know if that's how you always did it. If not, but I can definitely see you found your formula or something that works very good for you.
I never really cared much about formula and stuff. I mean, you know, you know, and subscriber count and everything. I mean, I'm just glad if, if I see, people, following me, and then it means that, you know, I appreciate it, everyone enough for that. Like because I'm working as well, so I mean, I rarely get to do live streams. I usually do it like
Yeah, it's
if I'm
one thing
not
to work at a
working,
job, at a
at
regular
the same
job.
time
It's another
recording
thing to
as
work in
well.
a hospital.
So yeah, and then
Yeah,
I just do what I can basically, and then you know um and then I do it for the fun of it as well.
Yeah, that's one
Uh,
thing though. It's
yeah.
another thing when you love, when you do what you enjoy doing.
Mm-mm.
I'm curious though, why do no commentary?
I
Like,
think
what was
Jaden
your
fell
specific
asleep.
reason?
No, I'm reading.
Um,
That's my last That's my last question, and then you can go get the rest.
I
um,
have not sleepy. Go have a
my
cookie.
I think my reason.
Milk and
I,
cookies.
Cookies, and you can't forget your milk. You know that.
That's
Nope,
my
no
that's my
sir.
late night snack.
Mm. Anyway, I think my reason for starting off with no commentary videos is because I maybe I'm still trying to find my niche in a way, and but my main reason is because I was hoping that
Hmm?
when I put my videos out there,
No.
um, because I'm still not too familiar with
Oh,
doing commentary stuff, so
it's good.
I am maybe concerned about boring people and everything
I
when I'm
bore
talk
people every
when I'm talking.
day. Just do it. Bore someone with that.
Curse.
You never know.
Same moveset as
Anyway, so
Bloodhound Finger.
it's like I'm still
Bloodhound Finger is
finding
probably
what
better
works for
weapon to
me.
use though.
Yeah, just do whatever.
Mine was background
Excuse
noise
me.
and also like when I stream, I just don't get how some people can play game and talk to themselves openly. But like, if I have an audience, it makes it so much easier and engaging. But I did say I had a problem with giving my own commentary when
Just pretend your audience is there.
it feels so weird and wrong.
Become a good actor. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
No,
That's hard for me
neither do I.
because when I focus, I get insanely quiet.
I I
Kind
guess that
of,
makes four
yes.
of us
It's like
then.
it's like you're in the zone and you don't have time to talk and think at the same time.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Cold, what sword is that?
I feel like I talk
Monk's
more
Flame Blade.
when I'm playing my horror games.
Let me see it. Inventory it real quick.
Cold
You have to have a
Cold
game that's
Flame.
more.
Oh,
You
that's
can
the
react
one mountain
more.
top of the giants, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's only one area you can get it, and I farmed it. It has
Okay.
a 227 frost build up, and it's really good at staggering.
Cold in
Never
his
seen it before.
weapons. Cold in his weapons. Artillery master.
Mm. Oh, by the way, who else? I added you on the PSN, but just to
Oh
let you
shit.
know.
I got you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anyway, Zero, guys, guys, thanks for having me. That's gonna be it for me.
It
I'm
was
gonna get some
good
shut
of
eye
you
now.
to join us. Thank
Go get some
you.
rest, man.
Yeah,
You got
yeah, I hope.
you got lives to save when you get back to work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me. I hope to join you guys again next time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's all good with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Join whenever you
no
want. Let us know.
objections.
All right. Okay. I'll let you guys know. So yeah.
Or if there's
Anyway.
another Saturday that you're free,
Good night,
I wouldn't
Gil.
mind. This has been fun.
Yeah. It's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun.
Good night, brother.
All right, guys.
Alright,
Good
take
night.
care.
Good day. All right. You stay safe, guys.
So I was Call of Duty. Oh, Wills,
Yep.
I was Call of Duty.
It was good. It was good.
Did you break your record yet again?
No, I haven't gotten past my 20 bomb, dude. I've been trying. I've gotten close. I've gotten 20, 17, bunch of 10 kill games, 13 kills.
Sweet.
That 20 kill game was just, I was locked in when I was playing with Sweet and
Sweet
I feel like you
Crimson
haven't been
Frozen.
away for that long. What has it been, like an hour?
yeah. Was
Yeah,
it too
Yeah.
I've
long?
been away for that long. But
Yeah,
Didn't-
everybody kind of got off, and then it was like, all right.
I guess they were busy.
You were
My
like,
my PC was still on. I cut my PlayStation off and everything. My PC's still on. I see him still streaming. I'm like, holy shit, let me just drop back in and see what the fuck's going on.
and sure enough, here we are. No one asleep yet. You could have your cookies and milk now.
I don't
No,
know.
I had some bread pudding.
I actually.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
that's a good replacement.
I
Num,
love
num.
bread pudding. Is it the one with the raisins in it?
Yes.
Cherry?
No cherries, no cherries. My mom makes it with she gets a bunch of cinnamon raisin bagels
Mhm.
and she dices apples and she cooks the apples like to get them nice and soft.
Uh huh.
And she just
Ooh,
mixes it all together and then just bakes it with a little bit of flour. Oh my fucking gosh, it's so
I can't
It
believe
just sounds like I'm gonna get fat if I eat stuff like that.
you just. Oh, no problem, Gail. It was fun having you, man. You did a great. You did great. I noticed that you and Jay do share one similarities. Y'all fumble your words. Yeah, no problem. That actually, you mentioning the bread pudding reminds me I haven't eaten in 2 days.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Hmm?
Yeah, you're crazy. The way my stomach's set up, big back activities will have to activate.
No,
Yeah.
it's not my fault. It's not my fault. So I got paid.
2 days.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll make it 3 days.
What are you? Why are you doing that again?
Huh? Well, for one, all my pay went to my bank account. The first time they did me, they paid me on my bank account this time. But my card actually broke because I've never really had to use my card. I don't know if it's dry rot or something, but my card broke, and so now I'm waiting on the bank to give me a new card.
Google Wallet, Apple Pay. I'm eating somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I did try that, unfortunately. Remember when I said my phone cracked? The phone I'm using. No, remember the phone I'm using now doesn't have NFC. So Google Wallet will not work. The phone isn't updated enough. Doesn't have NFC.
Man, that sucks.
I mean, I won't die. Because one, I
Go out
fasted.
and get a banana from the tree.
There's actually nothing stopping me from doing that right now. Going down the road and touching the day with bananas.
I don't give a shit. I would break down a damn tree and eat bananas.
No, I just decided to treat it as fasting because I got to know the other day that at work if you don't
You
have
can
the
even
money.
grill the bananas.
Yeah,
Just grill those bananas.
they regularly do that actually down there. It's a regular
Yep.
thing. They just do it by the road. Like I learned I'm purposely went along like keeping it going because I'm trying to do fasting. I've gone like 5 days without eating before at my previous job. We all the staff tried doing it. I went 5. Only one person was able to make it
Man, if you
6.
don't teleport.
Thanks you for reminding me. My brain is still off. I found out at work, if you don't have the money to buy a meal, they will actually buy it for you when it's deducted from your pay.
Mm.
So that's one good benefit the work comes with. Plus,
Oh, you didn't set it down.
yeah, usually rule of the Souls game is always sent back down the elevator.
Yeah, to be honest, Elden Ring was my first game. I never done it.
It's it's it's
You know where I
interesting.
dreaded it the most?
Ah,
What?
Moongrum.
Moongrum.
Yeah, 'cause I always had to pull the lever when he killed me.
Who's Moongrum again?
The carrion knight. Right before you fight Renala.
Oh.
My dumbass never sent the elevator back down.
Remember when we streamed together and the carrion knight kept murdering me? Oh my
Yo,
god.
he was scorching my shit, bro.
He can one shot you. And I didn't know
Back to,
I
like,
didn't
I'm
know the
talking
benefit about the Bloodhound's Fang, so he couldn't parry me.
crazy.
And who was like, nope, you're cheating. He's definitely cheating.
100%. 100% cheating.
It's not my fault. The Bloodhound's Fang is counted as a colossal weapon and it can't be parried.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Mm.
didn't even know. I didn't know. But it does
That sword
remind
is
me.
dope.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. I put Wall Strike on it. Against Millennia, this thing takes 3 hits most of the time to
Why,
proc Frostbite.
why not spinning strikes? I think spinning strikes would be a better. Or spinning slash. I think. Yeah,
Spinning
spinning
slash.
slash is.
I just prefer the Wall Strikes. For personal taste, I prefer the Wall Strike. I just found it to be a really good weapon sword.
Can you give it blood as well, or no?
You can
Is it
infuse this
a
thing.
is it a
You
plus 10 weapon or plus 25?
plus 25. You can infuse it.
Oh, so you can infuse it then. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you can infuse it with anything. Honestly, I
And it
just
comes already with 100 and something frost builder?
at max level, yes.
Oh my god.
When I was experimenting, remember, I love weapons, so that's also I realized the cross Naginata,
Hmm.
it also has these,
Oh yeah.
it has 45 bleed, only 5 or 10 less than usual, and 105 frostbite. And then I put the ice spear on it, which is pretty much filthy broken.
I love that weapon. I would
And
just do a little poke and then
like,
run
just look
back.
at this. See this
That's
shit?
pretty good.
That's really good.
And if you're at point blank range, the little wind up hits them with damage, adding more to it.
Oh, that's one shot then.
Oh yeah, I one shot a lot of enemies in this shit. You basically saw how I used it against. If you did watch my video, how I used it against Godfrey and Malekith. So like if I run up on him, oh, like if I like run up on him, well that
Oh, dumbass.
okay. It still does damage, even if it hits, and also if I'm at point blank range, shit man, he wasn't standing. But yeah, I know it does damage at point blank range.
There it
Yep.
is.
So that combined with the frostbite hit all stacked together.
That's a weird hitbox on that. You
Yeah.
kinda gotta
You
Gotta
gotta
really
respect the
be.
accuracy of the hitbox, though.
Yeah, you gotta really be on top of them.
I almost
Man,
forgot.
I'm
I did
yawning
really did work
about
on
that
this.
time.
Okay. From the
Yeah.
night. Yeah, I think you were like, it's what, 11:30?
Yeah. We've been talking for since 8 o'clock.
Yes. I think that's actually one of our best conversations, honestly, about the difficulty of the game and difficulty in general.
It's good because we shared screen. I just like it's more comfortable that way because otherwise, if we were all three playing, it's hard for me to concentrate.
It's funny how I can't multitask enemies, but I can multitask playing this game and talking to you guys.
Shh.
Huh, that's
I can't.
interesting.
I can't play a hard game, and plus I'm tired anyway from playing video games. I went.
Oh my
I went
god.
hardcore on the DLC.
The next time, you're the one who's screen sharing. Let us see some of that Shadow of the ErdTree goodness.
Yeah, like uh, another one's supposed to be. Another video is supposed to release Monday.
You still haven't beaten the final boss yet?
Nope. I need a break first before I can decide to beat that boss.
Okay, so it is. I
So
guess it
I
is as
think
crazy as I've heard it is.
it's every Saturday and Monday that I have, or is it Friday and Sunday? I can't remember now. Shit.
So what are you streaming Monday then? If you are gonna stream.
So let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
Wait, you gotta.
That's right. I'm supposed to stream on Monday. I need to finish one of my horror games. So, okay. Shadow of the ErdTree is Friday and Sunday. Stellar Blade is
Do I literally have.
Saturdays or Mondays.
I
It's
have
probably
one,
both
two, three,
Saturday and
four,
Monday.
five,
Saturday and
six
Monday.
fucking
Yep.
shields.
Yep.
And no weapon.
Stellar Blade is Saturdays.
You gonna be rich off of serpent shield.
You
The
know,
rate you going.
You know, I be trying to make these videos because, you know, I'm gonna be gone for almost 3 weeks.
Vacation time?
Yeah, July 17th. I'm leaving.
Nice.
and for 3 weeks, so you'll be coming back in August.
August.
Yes. No
So I
J.K.
have at
Adams.
least enough videos for this channel that I'm on for until August.
I should record more Tales of Arise tomorrow. I've actually. Otherwise, there was two of us. But he said you didn't really. You slept on some of your games. I myself didn't record anything for Tales of Arise until yesterday. So I've been enjoying that game now.
But anyways, I'm gonna hit it tonight. I
Alright.
am tired. I don't need
Same here.
cookies.
I ate
No
already
cookies,
for the
huh?
day.
No cookies. I don't even have cake.
What about some bread pudding?
I don't have
Send
that
me some.
either. In spirit, you send some in spirit.
Good eats right there. That bread pudding putting me on my ass. Well, I'm over here closing my eyes and shit. Wait, you didn't kill the second one.
Oh fuck! Literally, I'm thinking about the bread pudding right now.
He's thinking about
Because-
bread pudding and he's missing the second one.
No, listen to me, right? When they make them locally, I spend like a good $20 on.
You didn't
buying
send
bread
it back?
pudding.
Okay.
I'm thinking about the bread pudding. That's just how much I listen to me, right?
Hey,
I haven't
Bread pudding.
I haven't felt my own hunger, despite being in a place that makes food, until he mentioned the freaking bread pudding. That's how much I enjoy it.
hey, I gotta tell you one thing. He gonna get that motherfucking card to work tomorrow.
I I don't have work tomorrow though. But
He gonna get that card to work tomorrow. You want that bread pudding, boy?
Bread pudding. That card better work.
I've already tomorrow I'm gonna talk to my neighbor and her auntie. If they have the same banking service as me, I'm gonna send them the money digitally and they will give it to me physically.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Solution. Bread pudding.
Yeah. But cooking the apples, damn. We don't have apples can't grow down here. So I definitely wouldn't like to taste that.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you did tell me that.
Apples. We don't even grow apples here.
Yeah, down in the Caribbean it's too hot for apples to grow. They wouldn't
Yeah,
It's more in the north.
they have to pay import fees for
Yeah.
apples, right?
Right, majority
Or a
of
tax or
our
something
stuff.
on it.
So majority of our stuff, like exotic fruits and stuff, is imported from England. So we
There
get it
you go.
from right. So we get it.
That's a hell of a travel.
Well, no. Remember, down in the Caribbean, a lot of the islands are still controlled by French. So although my country has its independence, I'm between two French countries, Martinique and Guadeloupe. So like, if you stay on the coast, you can see Guadeloupe next to our island. So they just get it directly from there, or Saint Martin or so, or Saint Vincent, and yeah, we get fresh apples delivered to us every weekend or so, certain businesses. But that's store-brand apple. What I would like to taste, but I know there's usually a difference between them, is like the actual apple grown in your backyard.
Let me tell you something about America, bro. Them apples ain't grown in nobody's backyard.
Are you
Nope.
serious?
You have to have a big piece of land to grow apple tree and a pear tree.
These motherfuckers got a bunch of trees in one little farm, and they just grow the apples that way. They got a machine how to pick them, and then they throw them on a conveyor belt and bag them.
No, yeah, the apple farms are pretty much acres of land of apple
Yep.
trees.
So nobody
Yep.
nobody casually has an apple tree in their yard.
Well,
No,
yeah.
not unless you have a big piece of yard to grow that
Yeah.
apple tree.
Big ass tree.
Okay. Because like, so what about a mango tree?
No.
No, we don't grow
It takes-
mangoes here.
Yeah, it takes too long, and it's not hot enough for the
Oh,
fruit to really
right.
flourish. So mangoes we get imported from.
I know Georgia is peaches, man.
Yeah,
Peaches.
Georgia's peaches. Mangoes we get from Puerto Rico
Yeah.
and I want to say Ecuador.
Probably.
The yellow ones are from Puerto Rico for sure.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
But like the reddish mangoes, I think it's yellow mangoes.
What
the
size?
red
what
mangoes.
Is there a difference in size?
Yeah, the yellow ones are significantly smaller,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they're smaller, a lot stringier, but are super sweet.
You are talking about what locally we call it mango lica.
Okay.
That is, well, it is common, but it's not as common as other mango. There's one.
Gotcha.
There's one that is about. I would say, well, since you're a big person, it's probably half or majority, almost all of your palm, and it has a slight groove bend at the tip of it. It's called grafted mango. That's the most common.
Yeah, what
one we
color
have.
is it? What color is it? Like
It
red,
starts
right?
off. It starts off green, but at most it'll grow like
It'll turn red,
semi yellow
orange. Yeah,
semi
yeah.
yellow orange. But it's quite big. It's one of the biggest. There's mango long, where it has a longish.
Holy shit! I've
it
never
has a
seen
long-
that.
It has a longish shape.
You
but
haven't?
It
No.
does. You've never been grabbed by them?
No.
Well, basically my point is, in my small neighborhood on a 700 something mile island, there's about 11 mango trees that I've counted, much as the ones I haven't counted. Almost everybody has a mango tree in their backyard.
Oh shit.
Actually, if
You
we
need
was any
to
closer,
pull back out that damn curved greatsword. You over here dying now.
yeah. You see
That,
why?
that damn bread pudding done fucked up your play style.
He
You
needs to
see,
go get that money, man.
you see, it's not something they make, or it's not something I always get to see often. So I just really love it when I do get a chance. Down
That's
here they
amazing,
make it
dude.
by using stale bread. So like
Stale
before the
bread.
yeah, when
Yep.
the bread is like a day or two old, the
Yep.
bread goes bad and they take that to make it.
Mhm.
Oh my!
He got it.
He doesn't have to farm anymore. Fantastic.
Now if
I
only
saw
I
that purple glow and I knew it was the damn magma blade. Imagine he gets another one right here.
I
I
Come
don't
on,
think
would
he's
let's do
gonna.
it.
I
Let's
would
do
Let's
it.
not
see.
mind F2. I would not mind F2 at all.
Let's do the Squidward chant. Hamada 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 hamada. Purple glow.
No.
Ah, yes,
Okay,
it
no problem.
is clear. Pick
Yeah,
your
I think I'm
one
I'm 100% done for the
and
night. Let
call it
me.
quits.
Yep.
Yeah, I do
You
have a big
got what you
cleanup to do
wanted.
tomorrow. And even though most of y'all been silent, I'd appreciate the 5 people who are watching the stream. Please do not forget to check out my rival and colleague, Red Jade Queen and Wolves Gaming. Because y'all know I could not do hostess without them, right? So if y'all can support me, I would ask of you to please check them out.
Appreciate that.
No problem, man. It was really did surprise me when I joined the streaming community how other streamers were so helpful and willing to teach and help others out. So, I can only return the favor. Let me, yeah, let me end this right here. Alright, as always, stay safe, take care, and be good, everybody. 4 hours. I hope y'all had a good time.